Okay. Hitting go live now. All right. I've hit the button. We've done the things. We are live. Hi, everybody.
You're saying it's been pressed?
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
Can you shuffle my picture over a bit?
Yes, sure.
It's a little bit.
Sure, Stuart. Not a problem.
Frame me properly, sir.
Oh. We're back.
We are.
We're back doing the reviews.
Yeah. A little while ago, we were doing Strange New Worlds. Now we're doing Lower Decks. So, welcome back, everybody.
But we had a small respite.
Yes, we did.
And now we are back with a passion. Why am I not surprised? Trek keeps on coming, Stuart, although it might not be as much eventually. But right now, we're back.
Yeah.
How you doing, Stuart? What's your day been like?
My day's been busy. You know that. Well, at least the first
Why is
part.
that, Stuart? Tease! Because we've got some big old things coming.
We got a lot of good breakdown videos coming out for you guys, so stay tuned, pay attention, make sure you're notified, subscribed, all that, you know, the routine, because we got some good filming done this morning. We got more to do on Monday, of course, but this upcoming week is going to be full of a lot of cool Trekyards content, and of course this weekend, so be sure to check out the regular edited videos, because yeah, there's lots to talk about, especially with this first episode.
Who would have thunk it? You bring back every part of Voyager.
Yeah.
It's as if they did it just for Trekyards, eh? And how many of you, seriously, in the chat were thinking, I wonder what Trekyards going to say? I mean, obviously you're here right now with us, you're the hardcore, but I mean, I feel like some people out there thinking, oh, Trekyards going to have a field day. And, you know, we may have done a very deep dive breakdown on the ship and may have thoughts that you might have never have noticed.
Yeah, exactly.
It was fun.
There's some things in episode 2 which are also, I think, people would say, what would Trekyards think? And yeah.
You have seen both. Don't worry.
Speaking of, yeah, I'm going to let you know, our live review and breakdown of that one will be on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They dropped 2 episodes on us, so we got to do it in that way. So Monday, 4 p.m., be here and watch that review. So also make sure you check out our edited review that was released earlier today for this episode. And Monday, I think our episode 2 edited review will be coming out as well. So lots of content. And tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing the first reaction to episode 2 here as well. So lots of content, lots of Trekyards time, FaceTime with you guys. So check it out.
And since we haven't, there's a lot to talk about in episode 1, we're able to. We've done a bit on episode 2 together, Stuart, but really it has been episode 1. And you're almost going first reaction with the audience tomorrow, Monday, whichever day. So, whichever day. So it's a sort of still his first reaction. Yeah.
And Dan Ben says a silly question: are you going to cover very short treks?
The very short answer is yes. Sorry, why? That's a very short answer.
Yes. Just why? But why sounds like you're asking why. Of course we are. We're Trekyards. We love all Star Trek. We're going to cover it all. So, absolutely.
Especially as it's like the first time Trip Tucker's back in like 20 years.
Thanks to Aaron Wolke. Amazing. Love Aaron.
Yes. Dear me. It's exciting.
You know what else is exciting? Our first super chat of Ula Ines, $2.
Excellent.
I'm take command of the USS Cerritos.
That's
now,
bold.
Just so you know, that is Ozzy's mom, and she joined the channel at the rank of Admiral, so she gets her own hero ship, and she's requested the Cerritos to be her ship. So I've already let our fleet guy know, and hopefully the next round of fleet videos will have her as captain of the Cerritos. So thank you very much to Ozzy's mom for joining us and joining the channel. Admiral is a perfect and great rank, so thank you.
What a great coincidence that after the Cerritos when we happen to have a Cerritos. What a not at all.
And now we have a captain, a female captain. How
true.
fitting for the Cerritos. And Ozzy also super chats in with $5 and says, "Time to have Canada hot dogs with cookies and Canadian beer." Sure, I'm down for all that. So good to see you, Ozzy. Good to see everyone.
And
hit that like button, guys.
And to those after the fact, I hope you guys enjoyed the Lower Decks in cinema. My dad actually went to go see it. In fact, Bev Robinson just posted a picture of the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And in the picture, I don't see Dad, but I see someone else I know for the convention circuit.
Yeah.
And there's apparently a reserve for Sean Ferrick. I don't know if he went down. Just, that's nice. He got reserve seat. I mean, not obviously we can't do it because we're here doing this, right? It's more important than seeing the cinema, but cool. Everyone enjoy that. I'm going to start showing the link.
Go for it. And this is my chance to talk to you guys and say, hit that like button. We have 47 of you here and 29 likes. We want to get those likes up to 50, so hit that like button if you are just joining us and haven't hit it yet. Please do. Be like Ozzy's mom and join the channel. You can join at different ranks. Ozzy is Federation Council member, has been for a long time, so we really appreciate that. But you can join our fleet video and have your name highlighted, be serving on a ship, have a rank, and be in all of our videos at the end during the fleet video section, which is always fun to see what ship you're serving on or what ship you're captaining because you've requested it. So by all means, consider joining the channel by hitting that join button. If you don't want to join, but you just want to enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and be sure to hit the bell notification icon to all so you don't miss any of our edited content. We always have great breakdown videos and just lots of great Star Trek discussions. So by all means, make sure you're subscribed and notified. It's just easy. If you don't want to join the channel here on YouTube, you can go over to Patreon/Trekyards. That is another way to support us on a monthly basis. And all the same ranks, privileges, and fleet action applies over there. So go check that out as well if you choose to. Another great way to help us, of course, is hitting that like button. Very easy, very simple. And also super chatting during these lives. We want to hear your thoughts, your questions, your comments, your theories, anything you guys want to talk about. We do read them all on the air, and we do discuss them. So if you guys want to have your voice heard, please super chat in. We'd really appreciate it. Any little amount helps, from $2 to $5 to $20 to $50. Whatever you guys want to super chat in, we'd really appreciate, as it does all add up and makes for a good Trekyards community. We have a fantastic community here. You Trekyardians are great, and we want you guys to enjoy the content. So we want to get to know you guys, and we want to hear from you, and super chat's a great way to do so. You can also check the links down below for the Teespring and the TWOVIX store. Great Trekyards merch over there. If you're interested in some Trekyards shirts or anything like that, go check it out and order something. We'd really appreciate it. So he's back now. Hi, Samuel.
Hi, Stuart.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited for this episode. Again, I've done a bit on this, but I'm excited to have you guys. Oh, poll. Let me do a poll as well.
Do a poll.
Ooh, what should I ask? Ooh, what should I ask for this one?
I don't know. I was trying to think of a good poll before I started, and I couldn't. Mark Lawrence throws in $5. Thank you so much, Mark. Good to see you. Now I need a Voyager in the same scale as my Cerritos. I'll be joining your Trek shorts. Funding soon, Sam. Yes.
Ah, you mad man. There's already some fun chats in the Discord. So, boy,
Nice.
I'm not holding back on updates on that thing. But asking questions like, here's a thing that I haven't talked about before. Here's a picture of it never before seen. Hey, so that'll be a fun community. We're going to build on that, which is having a bit of fun with that. Yes, thank you. It's Oi, you know the next film, Stuart. Although you would know more if you looked at the update page of the Discord.
I haven't checked it out.
Yeah, it's fun. Yes, Patreon, Trek Shorts Patreon. It's helps.
And Ray Ricks throws in £5. Thank you so much, Ray. I love the episode. Only on Lower Decks would we get an assimilated microphage and going on to convert a robotic lizard and hijack a ship. Yes. I love that the nanites were upscaled to become macro nanites. That's pretty great. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff to talk about in this episode. So thank you so much for the super chats and for being here, guys. We really appreciate that. But hit the like button. Still 47 people here and only 32 likes. I don't know what's going on. this is the time to do it.
I mean, I want to see at least 3,000 or 4,000 likes. So get liking.
Wow. Holy crap.
Sorry. Okay, 3,500. We'll compromise. Okay. Sorry, I'm going too far.
Wow. I'll compromise and do 2,000. I'd be happy with 2,000.
That's a low ball, Stuart. That's a real
I know,
low ball.
but
It's not a compromise.
anyway,
it's,
the poll.
Playing poker with me.
The poll is up, figuratively and literally.
Whoopsie.
Go vote on it. Whoopsie.
Whoopsie.
Did you get more feels seeing DS9 in Lower Decks Season 3 or Voyager in Season 4? That's a good poll.
I think that's a really good... there's no right or wrong answer. It's purely personal. I'm super interested to see what you guys say.
And Megan Bruns, member for 15 months at the rank of Ensign.
Thank you.
I'm just glad Lower Decks is back. Yes.
Yes.
It's like it was never gone almost. Once it's back, you're like, oh yeah, this is like right back into this groove. Love it. So
yeah, no, absolutely.
Enjoy it while it's here.
Yeah, it's the most Trek of Trek. Where we get Voyager and DS9 back to back. Oh my god. And done right, goodness. So Stuart, I'll ask you once again for the third time. Stuart, what do you think of Lower Deck Season 4 Episode 1, and how do you feel on multiple viewings of this?
I really enjoyed it. It was a nice surprise right out of the gate. I remember Season 3, the first 5 episodes were kind of disappointing for us when we reviewed them. This one started off with a bang. I think this has the same kind of quality as Seasons 1 and 2. And the Voyager thing just was like the icing on the cake, even though it was the entire cake for this episode as well. There's some really good deep cuts for Voyager in here, which is fantastic. And in multiple viewings, I mean, you see more little things. You can pay attention to the background. You can kind of enjoy it more in a different way. And it's definitely one that is very, very rewatchable. So this is definitely one of my favorite Lower Decks episodes, just because it does tie in with Voyager. And Voyager doesn't get really the love that it deserves sometimes. So this was a real love letter for Voyager, and I think they did a fantastic job with it. So that's kind of my take on it. How about you, Samuel? What did you think about this episode in particular?
Boy, it was quick on second watch.
That too.
I was blown away by it. It felt so big and bold first watch, and then zoom, done second watch.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says, but it says something. It's a sort of intentionally disrespectful love letter, meaning to Voyager, because they literally shit goo all over Voyager, taken over by some of its worst villains.
And they do say this is a weird solution, just like Voyager would do.
Yeah. So it's almost, but and that's fun, right? It's not played in any disrespectful way. Voyager had more to deal with than the Enterprise D, for sure, far more than DS9 from Enterprise. You know, it was the show that got everything. So of course this stuff happens to them, right? It kind of fits in the theme, just in 20 minutes and pushed to 11. Yeah, it's a very enjoyable piece. It works properly and not just a Voyager, wow, we made Voyager, because there's a really deep Mariner and Boimler subplot, which pays off a lot better, having seen episode 2, which implies it's going to keep paying off more the further you go. That's the feeling I got. So having that strong ending, which really grounds it in the lore, grounds it in the characters, elevates the entire piece, and also playing with, as we did Packleads, as we did with the Spock helmet in one shot, taking one of the most hotly debated, well-known memes, in a sense, that of course being the TWOVIX, did she murder him, did she save two people, turning that into an entire subplot that was both deeply contrived, and it was using the same concept, but also deeply fresh, because it was, we took that in a random new direction, pushed it really far, and then pushed it so far that we had to pull back and not really worry about the ethics because it was too far, and allowing some humour as well. So a really clever thing, and I saw a second time that Mike wrote it, not surprised. You had an intimate knowledge of the franchise to write it and be that organic, and I really do appreciate the cleverness, and it creates another canon point, because it is canon, right? The creator has several years to refurb it, etc. So that's a canon point. We know it's around Museum Earth after Starfleet Command, so we know that Museum is now on Earth. We know when it's decommissioned, so a lot of nice canon points have now been given versus just Voyager was decommissioned here, and there, and there. No, now we know. And, you know, boy, the interiors, which we've worked on my team for a long time now, and to see them done in their way was great, because I know exactly how intricate, complicated, and detailed they made them. So, yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, and quick note as well, they did change the intro again. There is the whale probe is there now with the crystalline entity at the Borg battle. So there is quite a bit of, I love how they keep adding stuff. Next season is going to be the Doomsday Machine or Voyager or something. I love that they keep adding the big baddies.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was great. That was definitely we now know what they're doing, right? Like, that's the point of it. We thought, it's Packers. There isn't going to be anything big, right? It's just fun to add. And also, it helps you, you know, if you need to know what season you're watching, that's how you work it out.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're thinking, by the time we get to see, you know, if we get to season 10, it'll be ridiculous. Yeah, let's get to season 10. What a problem to have, Mike. 10 years of Lower Decks. What a problem, you know? So I can imagine if you're getting bigger, because you didn't think you're going to get 7, 8, 9 seasons, right? Like, 3 is good. And we're going to get 5 minimum. So, it's good. It's fun.
Guestrill 1980 throws in $10.
Boom. Thank you.
Hey, guys, if you two were caught in transporter merge accident and combined, what would we call you? Furlings? Hello? No, Stumuel. Somebody already did that a few years ago. They combined our images with over top of a Neelix head. And they said, Stumuel was created. And I got a good laugh out of it. I have the meme somewhere on my phone.
Or Samuelat.
Samuel Art.
Hey, Samuel Art. Yeah, give it Art.
Sam Art.
Stuart.
Yeah.
Sart. Yeah. I mean, Sart would be fine.
Or Folkings. Or
Folkings, yeah.
Cockley. That sounds really bad.
Right. Yeah. Thousands of $1 super chat for that thing.
Come up with your own names for combined Captain Foley and Commander Calkins, please, in the chat.
Yes.
Sean O'Sullivan, member for 9 months at the rank of ensign. Why must USA actors butcher Irish accents in 2023? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
You know, you shouldn't just hire them if they've already got the accent. You know, actor's an actor, right? I mean, God, how many American actors are actually English who put an American accent and you really can't tell? A lot of them.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest English actors,
especially in The Walking Dead.
Well, especially in Marvel.
Grimes. Yeah, Rick Grimes and Maggie, they're both English.
Yeah, I mean, you know, acting. Well, I can't imagine it was the same guy back from Voyager to play the guy, because that's not even a cameo, right? It was just say 5 lines.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the same guy, because I assume he's done more since. Let me check that out.
Yeah. Ozzy, though, throws in $5.
Yes.
Remember, if your shuttle with the crew of Cerritos, take extra pair of underwear. Yes, or have a replicator nearby, or put on a seatbelt, maybe. Oh, wait, they don't have seatbelts. Darn it. Yeah, that's pretty great.
Wow, his name's Fintan McCowan. I mean, that's definitely Irish.
Yeah, it definitely
an amazing name. But he hasn't acted since 2016, so that's an amazing name. Fintan McCowan.
Yeah.
But Pumpkin Spice says Voyager. Yeah. Oh no, wrong one. Why was Voyager decommissioned right away? It's only 7 years old.
It's not the years, it's the mileage, as Indiana Jones would say. The thing's been through a lot. Plus, it was a significant trip and quite a momentous historical thing. So, of course, they would decommission it and get its place of honor. So, yeah, it was through a lot. Come on. It's not the years, it's the mileage. That's my answer to that question.
And also, it's not technically true in that Endgame was 2378. This takes place in 2381, so it's actually 11 years old. although it's been decommissioned, we get us just after. But yeah, I love that car analogy. If you buy 2 cars, both 7 years, and one car drives every day left, all day every day with a few stops, and does 5 million miles, and one does very little except go around the neighbourhood and does 4,000. One is done more than it needs to do, you know.
And don't forget that, you know, during that time, people like smash the windows, break in, cut all the seats up. They rip off engine parts. So you got to get new engine parts.
Yeah.
And the other car sits pristine in your driveway, maybe driving like on Sundays.
Look, it's corner shop and back, because it just goes on.
Yeah, exactly. One would be in much better shape, and one would have like new parts and being replaced. And
plus, of course, once you've done that much storytelling, I would find it quite sad to send out on a random mission and get destroyed by asteroid shower. Like the legacy of the ship, the story value is like put in an effing museum while we can. Because Jesus, that needs to be preserved as being as epic as it was. Versus a know-nothing, no one cares ship. It could last 30 years doing service, and it's just ship B of Fleet 7 of whatever. I don't have any problem with that. I think it's a silly notion. I mean, I would be fine to retire above like 4 years if it was just insane. I mean insanity, right? And Delta Quadrant is insanity. What they did was insanity. You couldn't even write that stuff.
Sergeant Montgomery Mako, member for 33 months at the rank of lieutenant.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Gosh.
Alien ship seems like Nassine, or the caretaker, Tech, would be a great season-long twist. Love Lower Decks and how they troll all of Trek with respect and homage. Yeah, I could see a caretaker connection there. It'd be interesting. That's why they also started with Voyager. Maybe they got to bring Voyager back at the end to like save the day from this thing.
I did say it was radically well built for one episode. I think it would be a lovely.
Maybe that's why it looks like shit in Picard, because it goes against this thing, gets the shit kicked out of it, and they have to replace parts on it to put it in the museum. And they're like, that's exactly your thinking. We don't want this thing destroyed, so we're just gonna put it away now.
Yep. Or even you can make a joke. So say Mariner's in command. She's now a lieutenant full grade by the end of the season, and she could say, "Okay, activate the armor." What armor? The armor. It got classified. What about the torpedoes? Classified. Borg tech. Classified. Enhanced warp. Classified.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pumpkin, he responds, then it should have looked like the Year of Hell Voyager coming out of the Borg sphere endgame. Why does everyone think that? Remember, most of your day you're spent at warp doing boring things. You can send work bees out at warp in the shield bubble and repair stuff. Most people are bored during the day. You've got an entire staff of engineers fixing things all day long every day. You stop for a week, you fix a hull. Why the hell would you let your hull look like shit? The first thing you do, like, if you lived... how many people repainted their homes in the pandemic? Said nothing to do.
Yeah.
Like, okay, does it work? Let's just make the house look nicer. I mean, my dad repainted the kitchen because we had time. If you've got time, you just start fixing stuff and making stuff look nicer. I don't get that. It'd be the worst thing. It'd be terrible for morale as well. Do you really think they want to stand at their window looking out and see just ruined hull and destroyed corridors and ruined replicators and dirty clothes? I don't get that. It's very annoying.
And going back to the car analogy, you want to get home faster, so you outfit nitrous on your car and try that, but it burns out the engine, so you got to like forgo the nitrous, and then you got to try special fuel with higher octane. So the engine's been through a lot as well. Like there's 7 years is a long time for what that ship went through, honestly. So anyway,
it's also their home. When you want to fix up your home, like it's not just a ship; it's their home. You want it to look nice and make everyone feel safe and cozy.
Just have Dots do it. Thank you, Matthew.
Shut the fuck up. So anyway, vote in the poll. So yeah, like the episode. It's good. It very nice to see again, and super impressive the sets. To the point of lunacy, how detailed they made them. Honestly, and I had such fun debating the extra with you.
Yes,
that
was good.
We took it to task.
There's some good videos coming, guys.
And the in-camera revelations that we have are rather fun. All right, how do we start, Stuart?
Well, let's get into it. They arrive at the Portello system with a very classified mission I don't know why it's so classified though. It's quite an odd thing when you find out what it actually is. We get a new starbase.
It's redact. It's not just that, it's redacted. It's like full on. Like,
yeah,
go to system. That's all they can say. It's like, okay,
yeah,
fine.
which they must think a lot of. They must think a lot of the Cerritos now, the upper
Yes.
command, because this is a pretty important ship that they're in charge of, essentially. So,
Although, what exactly are they doing?
just getting it to Earth should be a very easy mission. But out of all the California classes, they obviously respect the Cerritos. It's done quite a bit in its 4 years.
That's the joke. Because there's another time and space modifier at the end where Freeman says, we got changed into these alternate creatures today. So they get from this planet to Earth in 1 day. Both the Voyager and the Cerritos. The Voyager can go faster than the Cerritos for sure. That's, again, like Anthem Prime. That's like a light year away.
Yeah.
Where the hell is this place, and why is everything 1 day away? Including all the bullshit. So why is Earth sent the Cerritos to help get a ship 1 day away from Earth? I don't think the California class can't defend against anything. Any threat trying to attack the Voyager, Cerritos can't do jack shit against it. Wanda Deredex is doomed. I think they're just helping them like store stuff. Is what I really got from it. Like, we just need a cargo ship, basically. You know, store stuff in the hold as they did. Have crew to man it. I didn't get the sense that Curator could fly the ship. No offense to him, that's not his job.
Yeah, exactly.
But boy, they were close to Earth. Also,
the mission wasn't really explained so well either. Just get it to Earth.
Because they zip through the intro. Like, they're like, and it's Voyager, let's play the scene, and we're here. Because, you know, at whatever time.
Yeah. Then we see the lower decksness of it, just discussion. I hope it's not Romulans, and you get holodeck duty, and T'Lyn shows up. It's good to see T'Lyn. So, you know, nice little bunk moment.
Yeah, it was nice to... I liked the mother-daughter joke about the Romulans. That's a nice, simple way of showing them on the same page.
Yeah, it's a little bit later that happens, though.
But it's the setup for the joke, obviously.
Yeah, that's great.
And, you know, I like the fact they don't even spend a second explaining who T'Lyn is. It's been like a season, because she was in season 2 in...
Yes, she was.
Dej
Rouge.
Yes. So, like, there's not even a second of that. Because Mike knows Trek fans are rather smart, and the hardest core are going to care. But they vibe in so early that the crew know her, which I love. You know, she's so frank with Boimler, but that's just standing for Vulcan. She's like, yeah, thanks. And it's done in a way of like, yeah, you always say stuff like this, but I like you. It's a nice tone to start off. Who is this woman? Doesn't matter. Vulcan, science, moving on. Like, it's a nice zip. And she's pretty important in the episode. As I hope she'll be throughout. And it's, you know, if we're giving Tendi another person, maybe the writers thought we may have given Rutherford and Tendi a love arc at some point, but we don't think it's probably worth doing now. You look at how their characters developed, not in the same way. Originally they were a pair, and we kept finding they would be sidelined, because they kind of either were as a pair, or if there's no science or no engineering, there's nothing for them to do. This gives you a distinct science team vibe, which is a Trek staple, and then you have Rutherford work with Boimler or any of the other crew. Because, you know, we want to see all the characters, right? But they weren't being utilised fully. This feels like we're sort of actually evolving the show a bit away from the original concept. What do you think? And did you think of any of that when watching it?
I didn't think that at all when watching it, honestly. It's going to be more dynamic now, I think, considering that they're not ensigns all bunking together as well. Like Tendi and I mean, Rutherford, this kind of goes in this episode too, but Rutherford, you know, declined promotion so that he could stay bunked with these guys. Now he's, of course, bunked with Boimler and, you know, not with Tendi, even though they were talking about how their best friend relationship. So, yeah, but I don't know. I didn't consider it when I was watching the episode at all, no.
But now I've said it, what do you think? Just the evolved group dynamics.
I think the love arc thing between Tendi and Rutherford has been dropped, if it ever was a thing. I really do. They're just best friends. I've said that. Do I think that they might have planned that? Possibly, but yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to think about that. So I don't know. Moving on.
Just want to throw it out there.
Yeah. And we get the holodeck duty, which Ransom says, "Don't get so used to this. Promotions are coming up. You'll have to screw up in a pretty significant way today."
Historically significant.
Yeah. What are the odds of that? And then he drops the gun all over himself. That's hilarious.
Yeah, still never know what any of this means. Of course, the gun and such. How did you feel about the really blasé way promotions were handled? Because previous seasons it was a giant deal. This is almost an afterthought. What do you think of how they played that?
I don't think they played it that way. I mean, Ransom said, there's promotions coming up. You're gonna be happy about it. Yeah. And then there was a whole promotion ceremony at the end of this one. And the way it played out with Brad and then Tendi and then this huge pause and then Mariner. Spoilers, by the way. I thought it was a little odd the way it was kind of constructed, but it was a big deal. It was a thing in the briefing room, the one that was the most blasé was in the next episode. It was just so I think it was handled well. I think him kind of Ransom saying, you know what, nudge nudge, you're gonna be happy after all this, I think was a nice little touch. Ransom, I think, has come a long way as a character, honestly. Especially, like I said, next episode there's more to talk about, but I think it was handled well. I didn't think it was handled very blasé at all. I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, in as much as normally with a promotion sort of vibe, it's built up. He walks in and says, "Hey, you're going to get promoted today if anything goes bad," which of course most days nothing goes bad. So it's like saying, "Oh, you've been promoted," unless you screw up. Versus a come to my office.
Well, it has been going on for 3 seasons now. This promotion, honestly.
Well, yeah, but it's never been brought up except when he literally was promoted, and that was because there was a free spot, right? It's almost as if they felt like time served versus earned. He didn't do anything to earn this. He just built up credits, as if your time of being an ensign is over, as all of them have been, and since he and Tendi came near the same time. So it was like, oh, you've been here 3 years, everyone gets promotions, versus a thing. Because it wasn't, because it wasn't saving Voyager that caused a promotion. That had nothing to do with it. They had spots and they promoted 3 ensigns. That's it.
There was no saved his promotion, though.
For sure. But you know what I mean? It was just, we had 3 spots. I'm guessing some lieutenants left the ship. They had new ensigns on. They needed to promote 3 people to have bunk space. Like, it wasn't earned in this way. Yes, Voyager would have been weird because Tendi wasn't linked. But, you know.
What you're saying. I love how other officers probably got bumped up or reassigned to a different ship because they get the quarters, which I love.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Everything gets reset to which factory nobody was informed about, apparently.
Well, yeah, but it's fresh. But it because it sets a precedent, right? That on the Enterprise D, is there just, okay, now there's 15 ensign slots, lieutenant, everyone in this region's getting promoted. It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah, it's time served and, service record and stuff. It's been a few years, so yeah, absolutely. It's basically just you checked all the boxes.
It's just a raise. It's like a inflation raise.
Yeah.
It's like 3 years.
Yeah.
It's fine. Just it was so chill. I would have nice if they had any setup of any kind. But of course, he is like Mariner. He did get promoted for 3 months, and then demoted. So this is his second promotion. Because he did technically earn the first one in terms of like he had enough credits or whatever to earn it.
Yeah.
So Tendi was the most like, well, no, in fairness to Lynn's the most like, hey, you've worked in Starfleet for 4 weeks. Well, I guess, maybe a year. Yeah. She got the quickest promotion.
Lynn hasn't been there long, and she got a promotion like instantly.
But she was probably on a different ship first.
Maybe that's why she was gone for a season. Yes.
She was on another ship.
However, she did save all the senior staff, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And
episode 2, sorry, it did happen. You could be there a week and get promoted if you work your bloody arse off. So, but also if there's no
Livic.
Not we know that, no. But also, there must be some element of this was a Voyager thing. Ranks have roles, right? You can't just invent another commander because there's not enough staff for you to do the job with, or you need to have ensigns to do the menial jobs. You can't just keep promoting people at whim But if there's a big reassignment, you have to actually fill the spots. So there could have been it just creates an interesting idea of, time and whatever.
Yeah.
Just interesting.
Yeah. All right. So then we get the mystery station. They're creeping up to it, and this is the whole. I hope it's not a Romulan thing. I hate the neutral zone. Right?
Yeah, it's nice. I like the not fighting. It was a good dynamic. It was a good thing.
And he's like, sorry for the mystery, but after all these years, you're transporting a beautiful work of art, essentially, in Starfleet history, and then we get the reveal of Voyager.
And boy, he likes work in the dark, doesn't he?
He does.
I turn the lights off just to reveal to you all.
You can tell. If you know, you can tell he's on the
bridge. Oh, yeah, I would have guessed instantly if it had not been spoiled by, everything.
The trailer. Yeah.
And it is funny always to these power-ups, because in theory, the warp coils would be a long charge process. The Basardi could just turn on, and the gas would start swirling, and the impulse engines need to warm up, and things just don't turn on all at the same time. They're all different systems that involve different levels of whatever. Small thing, but it's just, it takes the function away from the function. It just becomes, look at the glows.
Mm-hmm.
Small thing. But it's still pretty epic. And
I do love when Space Dock lights fire up, though, to shine on the ship. That's great.
Yeah, it's very Star Trek, right? It's very, and boy, what a good but not amazing replica, because we've done the breakdown. And this is the sort of stuff that we'd hoped in season 1 was going to come, right? But I'm sure there's a live somewhere where we said they'll get here if it's successful and they earn it. Because now they've made their own show, they can delve into the other shows on DS9 with 3 old characters. Was it 2? It's 2. And this elaborate set recreations, that's earned. The show's been promoted to Lieutenant Commander, to do these big things.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you'd think they get a bigger budget. Sometimes you'd think. So
maybe.
So this sort of detailed model, in season 1 they weren't doing this level of detail for anything, right? The Vancouver was a kit bash. They must do it was a kit bash, right? That so many things were the lower decks, lower detail, quick style. Everything was fresh. This feels like time was poured into it, money was poured into it. Proper replica. So the Bird of Prey from early season. Save the hood, Good. Excellent.
The Scottish Nightmare. So what's wrong with the model? Watch our weekend content.
Yeah, that's a long discussion. In a good way.
And Sergeant Montgomery says, am I seeing correct navigational lights? Oh my. Yes. We talked to Mike McMahon and his team in person during our interview and said, you got that wrong. And they fixed it, so.
Yeah, we noted, and because, it's important. It's actually a functional thing. No, it's a great moment. It didn't quite have a punch, I think it tried to, because we knew it was coming from the trailer, from, it's a giant punch, unlike Picard, where it was a surprise we saw in Dry Dock. That was a bigger punch. This was, we knew, right? But still, amazing. The ship looks better for sure. Then we see a beautiful engineering shot. It's all we see of it. Might have been a matte painting, very possibly could be, but it's beautiful. The start of the roped off Federation rope things, which are just adorable and silly. And it honestly, yes, it makes you want to add them to a fan film and just have them blah 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 blah. Fine, yes, it's a fun idea. I like the, I like it. It just makes the set look more busy without doing anything.
Yeah.
We get 7 quarters with a very blonde wig on the mannequin. Was 7 very blonde?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes, she was. And then, the mess hall.
I love the fact that we recognise the Lodex crew as well. I know that Vulcan. In the last shot, I knew the Andorran. I knew the old lady, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They built a cast of backgrounds that do nothing, but I recognise them.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But their job, they're tasked with taking Voyager back to Earth, where it's going to spend some time on the ground before being permanently stationed in orbit. At the museum.
On the Neelix, it says the recipes of Chief Neelix, or Chef Neelix. Cute.
Yeah, Chef Neelix.
Cute. Sorry. Oof, look at that bridge.
Matthew DeFreitas, $5.
I do.
We needed a Robert Picardo cameo. Could have had the ECH pop up when all of the holograms go nuts. That would have been great, actually. Yeah. He would have been a good addition for this, but considering he's in Prodigy Season 2, I don't know how contracts and things work. So
You would think if you're on CBS payroll, they can just bring you in for another project. We've heard many times recently they absolutely can't do that. But obviously, I think any cameo they would have got, you'd have said, some fans would have said, why not that person? Or, darn, I wanted this person. So having none and just the ship, I think, probably is a safer bet. But yeah, it's a good captain's log. The bridge is excellent. It's giant. It's kind of funny. Our main cast are the only ones, getting the fun jobs, but that's okay.
Yeah. I love the mission worn uniform, like a screen used uniform. Was a great reference, and it's definitely on a Harry Kim mannequin.
Mm-hmm.
I really love how you can recognize all the mannequins.
Yeah, they ain't subtle.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't want them to be, right? That's the...
Yeah. And just don't touch anything, essentially.
My favourite line, because it entirely changes what I can say in fan films. That's a mission-worn uniform.
Yes. Screen used.
I mean, that's bold. Because, of course, we in the collector community, there's a difference between a high-end replica and screen used. Screen used is the right fabric, right at the time, and it can be any hero to stunt screen used. So to have mission worn, we've now created a parallel in the Trek community of that's one of his 12 dirty uniforms he kept in his quarters they managed to get, and they value that as well. How fun is that?
That's great, yeah.
Love it.
But we get an oopsie doodle from Rutherford. He's playing with the bio-neurocircuitry. And then he talks about the Neelix, the cheese incident. I love all the real references to Voyager in this episode. It's like, of course I know about the cheese incident. There's a whole display for it on Deck 7. Oh, and then Kayshawn and Ransom. I love their little back and forth, especially later where Ransom's like, Shaka, when the walls fell. I pay attention. Fist bump. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, you really want them to have more oomph as characters, right? So, really
but
good.
It says here, yeah, it's Voyager. Things or shit got freaky.
Mm-hmm. I mean, good summary, right? They do weird stuff. It's just everything happened.
We get a nice shot of the close-up of the right in front of the bridge, the primary hull, and then we go to the sick bay scene. But before we do that, 68 people here, 51 likes, guys. Hit that like button. Make sure that you've hit it. We've hit the 50 goal. Let's go for 80 now. I think we can hit 80, no problem. If you're just joining us, hit the like button. It's that simple.
I want my 4,000 likes.
Yeah.
See, I put it back up again.
2,000. Yeah, I changed it to 2,000. Anyway. I love how the next scene starts with T'Lyn saying, the ship is outdated and smells like Borg.
I like that. That was funny. That made me laugh.
Yeah. I thought it was great.
Because no one else would ever say or think that. But it makes too much sense because you're not going to be able to remove all the Borg stuff anyway. It's going to have a gross smell. And we know that Vulcans are extra sensitive to smell, so it's a nice... I mean, and let's be honest. Has she ever smelt the Borg?
I don't know.
Besides a holodeck, which obviously would create it. But, like, ships don't have Borg tech. Or had Borg on them.
Yeah.
There's all of the above. But yeah, you don't disrespect the tech. It's still amazing. Shush you. Oh yes, Tuvok. Glad we got a reference. Although he is... that's interesting. His badge is using a different variant. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a very animated, quickly drawn badge by the looks of it.
Yeah, but is it even different to the one of the other? Because they've had... No, there's a thing about that. But yes, Tuvok and I think the joke about his cause could have been better, but that's okay. And then a sick bay, they can't really tell. And yes, they're just moving stuff. So they're moving people.
Yeah.
That's how exciting their job is.
John Ford Jr. throws in a $50 super chat, so thank you
John,
so much, sir.
That is
You're a superstar
incredible.
here.
Wow.
He says, I would have liked to have seen a Voyager cast cameo. Yeah, we said the same thing. Overall, adored the episode. The love for canon by the team behind the show is commendable. Great payoffs and most impactful for long-time franchise fans, as a legacy franchise should be. I love that super chat, not only for the amount, but for what you said there. You're absolutely correct. And we said, too, going into this, we would love to see a cameo, at least one person from Voyager. And we kind of got that with the holograms, I guess. Fear and Michael Sullivan and Chaotica. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen one of the. But I think they made up for it in other ways for sure. So.
Yeah, nice and condensed, well written. Well, I don't know how long it took to refine that, because it was nicely said. Yeah, I mean, this is the show. You know, Discovery and Stranger World did their own thing. And this is the show doing the Trek thing for all Trek fans. Like, this is the, I guess you could argue that to get one you must get the other. You know, they're giving two branches of the tree, one that will, you know, an apple tree that will give you pears on one branch and really green apples on the other. So it averages out to Trek all around. But yeah, it's I mean, yeah, Mike was such an inspired choice, and considering people thought Rick and Morty of Star Trek, it's not. And there's a little bit of hijinks, but it's they've really made a strong level, right? Of serious to not. Yes, it can get one level higher potentially, or it does sometimes, but it's just the core of it is so there.
The Scottish Nightmare says, how does she know what the Borg smell like? Well, I like to think that the Borg smell like body sweat, latex, baby powder, and burnt out electronics. We should make a soap that smells like the Borg.
Oh, goodness.
The baby powder, it makes sense. And paint. Oh, and body paint. Yeah.
And just inner veins, whatever. Andrew, no, this was filmed a long time ago, and animated doesn't quite cover in the same way.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
And Ray Ricks throws in £2. Funny scene, only one shuttle in the Voyager shuttle bay.
Why?
I don't know.
We almost never saw more than one shuttle in the bay. I love this is actually the real bay, because there's an inner bay and the main bay, and you almost never see the hard left turn, which does actually fit in the ship. We made a to scale proper version, and it hits the hull. You have to actually make the well, I mean, it's a wall with a corridor. Assume there's no corridor for a second. As long as you taper that edge, it actually fits in the hull okay at a set scale. And I have the model of this shuttle bay. So it's really nice to see the classic shuttle bay. Like,
he was just making a joke about the endless supply of shuttles.
Oh, maybe
they can replicate more parts and build more shuttles.
Not an
issue.
Fine. Now, what do you think? It was literally the plant from Neelix. I didn't catch it first time, as in like first few scenes. It's just a plant.
I thought it was kind of weird, honestly.
Yeah, I did too a little bit.
It's kind of dangerous. Why keep it around? But as a sample, I guess. Let's put it in his quarters and like kept it alive. I guess. I don't know.
I mean, what were the chances of it getting to a a transporter? I mean, they
That's
know
why they're taking it via shuttle.
Yeah.
You see crates in the transporter room that they're going to transport. It's one of those ones you don't want to transport. So, but for it to open and a leaf fall off and the leaf make it to a vent, which also happens to connect to the transporter room, is all very, very highly improbable. That chain of events is just insane. So,
dear me.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, it does float into a vent, ends up in the transporter room.
Very Forrest Gump of them.
Yeah. And here Billups is like, hey, do you want to transport back? Beats taking a shuttle. I love that coming from a doctor, because McCoy definitely did like transporters. It was the exact opposite. He would much prefer to take a shuttle. So, nice touch.
I mean, every set here was fun in its own right. So to just it feels like no reason. Then they pull it in as a nice reason to do this as a real story plot. You don't know if they go in TWOVIX until it happens. Rewatching, it's like, oh yeah, obviously. But it feels so gratifying to see such a nice shuttle bay, transporting, especially off the shuttle bay, engineering, and all these. Like, it's a cornucopia of vibe, right? They're not holding anything back. It's even Jeffrey's tube for one sequence. One. I mean, they aren't innately hard things to build, right? Especially if you're episode 1, you've got the entire year to build. In theory, you're fine, but it's a lot to do. I'm not sure why the Doctor was walking around doing nothing, but whatever. Like, she looks like she's meandering.
Yeah, well, she was heading down the corridor and then stopped to like go.
I don't think shuttle bays are near the.
She wasn't in the shuttle bay.
No, I don't think the transport was near a shuttle bay. If she's going to the shuttle to get off, I don't think she's walking towards the shuttle. I mean, it's a long walk, and turbo lifts take you straight to a place. You don't. There aren't many corridors you walk down on a ship. You just.
Yeah, but if she likes history, she's just wandering around her old ship. It's going to the museum.
But she was eager to leave, though, wasn't she? Because she just left at the second. Or is it? You know what I mean? She's literally leaving, but why is she walking down corridor? It's just funny. It's like, why are they there? Story.
Doesn't bother me.
No, it doesn't bother me. It's just a note. I don't love the. Everyone says I'm a pet joke. It's like, okay, fine. They've been on the ship for years together. I don't think it's like, okay. That's all you can give her.
Yeah.
I don't think more fun there. But that's okay. But the beam's right. Good for them. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
Because they got the beam wrong in Picard when they beamed on Enterprise D. It's the right beam.
Yeah. But then we have a problem. Dun,
Yeah.
Dun, dun.
That's what we do.
Tillips has arrived. We don't know that yet, though. Then we get a beautiful shot of the Cerritos station and Voyager.
Scale.
Yep, the scale's off, but
Don't
like I said, Voyager's closer to the camera. It's fine. It's leaving.
Just right there. There you go. Yeah, I mean, what did you think of going full TWOVIX? I mean, how did you react first time? We didn't talk about this at the time. Like, was it? Did you see it coming? Was it hit to the groin? Like, how did it feel?
Well, it was coming. The name of the episode is TWOVIX with TWO, meaning part 2. I thought it was great. Yeah, I knew it was coming in this episode for sure. I gotta say, I like a lot of the merged crewmates that they end up having. But yeah, it's like, we'll get to that in a second. I love Captain Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
Just send me a. Yeah.
But I love the fact that we introduced the bridge properly, standardized view screen. It's so grounded. It's shocking how homely that feels. I love it. It's like, oh no, we'll deal with it. You do your mission as if you don't need us to protect you, like the mission we had was. We're just gonna go do the Earth thing ourselves. You know what I mean?
Shouldn't be a problem.
Redundant devices bringing the Cerritos then. Or why were they there? I guess offload supplies, really.
And just to staff the ship so that it gets to Earth. Because there's apparently nobody at the starbase.
No.
Or the station.
Nobody at all. And they don't mention it. I'm kind of surprised that... Who puts the ship to warp then? Because both Mariner and Boimler are standing. They're not at helm. I doubt Ransom's piloting. Curator maybe, but that feels odd. You'd think that, the helm's officers are Cerritos, because both Boimler and Mariner both act as helm.
Yeah.
But they clearly didn't
I would assume it was Boimler. He's close, more in the helm position-ish. Don't know.
But that would have been so nice to see him at helm, stand up and then talk to Mariner. Like, that you'd think is a big moment to pilot Voyager.
Yeah.
Don't make a single nod to it. It's probably Ransom. Let's be honest, he's not in the moment. Highest ranking. I can see him being a pilot.
And Shannon, yes, the swirly pattern on the uniform is actually from the flower, the orchid itself. It was for TWOVIX as well. That's why every one of them had it. But yes.
Bosh.
Merlost is correct. It is in the flower's
That makes sense.
DNA. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mariner and Boimler have a little discussion here about... Well, Boimler's acting kind of weird. And she's like, hey, this is a historical thing we're doing. But he's acting off. And the guy, the caretaker or the curator is... this isn't going to be fine until we're on the ground. He's all uptight. And then
clearly the one doing this mission, so everything's on him apparently.
Yeah. And then these things are made to withstand a photonic blast. And then the panel falls off.
Yep. I love the fact that Bournemouth also manhandles Paris, because he also Kazoned Paris, and he knows Paris now. Oh, see that Voyager form, so goddamn crisp. Like, look at that. The red is better. The black is nice. Oh, it looks so nice next to them.
The badge looks like shit, though.
Yeah.
Voyager badge.
Yeah, it does. But yes, then we get, I do think, entirely unrealistic. To the point of ludicrous, the fact that there's a full-sized macrovirus inside the bridge binaural. Well, next to. Not at all gonna happen. No. But whatever. Here we go.
But anyway, it gets out. Oh my god, it's a macrovirus. Is it infecting me? Don't shoot! Don't wreck my bridge. Yeah, it's great. Chaos ensues.
No, Chaotica.
Yeah.
And fear.
And the whole... don't worry, everyone got inoculated years ago. It can't hurt you.
What a nice... I mean, a nice throw line. I like it. And what a great alien. I've always liked this from Voyager. It's so undangerous. Like, it's fine, I got it! Although, boy, Shaka on the Walls fell guy, he ain't doing much. Mr. Warrior Race, Mr.
Keishan
could have thrown his knife. Just saying. But,
yeah, that's true.
But near the museum, because that's more important. And then it's a gross split. I love it.
Don't let them off the bridge. Huh? Stand in the doorway. Which just attracts them to Boimler.
They're just such a good design. It's so simple, but it does help explain why they replicate so quickly and why dangerous, because they're literally asexual. What's it called when you split?
Thinking.
Yeah.
Can't remember. Anyway.
The thing. I love that he's also used the corridor. Because it's a corridor.
Mm-hmm.
They never use it. I mean, it goes to like a room and then turbo lift, right? It's not... Still use a turbo lift to get out, but I assume these vents and such. I mean, there must be a Jeffries tube access in that room, you'd think. The bridge Jeffries tube.
I think there is. Yeah, people show up in that all the time. There's also a turbo lift just to the other side of it, so...
Yeah. Oh, and then, they use the classic phrase in case...
Mitosis. Thank you, Scottish.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
I love that he uses the guy's language. That's nice. It's a gentle bromance that's very nice.
Sokat, his eyes uncovered.
Nice. It's good.
Great.
Very Starfleet of them. Then finally the Pike reference, and it comes and it goes and moving on.
Yeah, this is nothing compared to that Pike thing we weren't supposed to talk about. Now, are they not supposed to talk about it with anyone, or did they file a report? So Freeman and stuff knows about it, but it's not classified. Ooh. That's my question.
Ooh.
You think they would have to file a report because they were doing a mission and then it would reach Temporal Investigations. Temporal Investigations would come see them and say you can't talk about this to anybody. So, or are they just keeping it to themselves because they're ensigns? I don't know.
But you think Bourne would want that on his record? Fancy time travel, would make him look cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd have to have said. Especially if, in theory, Stranger Worlds would have also recorded the event and then didn't have the other side of the events, right? But I'm disappointed that's all we got. And it was in the trailer. At least Boardman's reaction to that. You know what I mean? Like something else.
There might be another reference or two to it in this season. So
sure.
But we don't want to bring it up too often because it becomes a crutch. We did that thing, remember? It's Starfleet. We do crazy, weird stuff all the time. So
yeah, but it's special in the grand scheme of the Star Trek franchise creation. So it's just surprised that was the only thing. Although actually, I'm gonna go back and look. I don't think that goo was on the set in the trailer version.
It was. I think it was.
Because that would have been a giveaway. Because I remember seeing Janeway. I don't remember seeing the goo.
If you want to go take a look, I think it was there. 72 people here, 63 likes, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't. We're trying to hit 80 right now, so if If you haven't hit like yet, please do so. And don't forget to go vote on the poll. We have 88 votes. We'd like to do 100 before we close out a vote or a poll. So it's a very close one. You can make a difference in this one. So go vote on the poll, please. Shannon Haggerty says the only other reference I saw was the #1 poster in episode 2. Yes, he had it in his box, and he also had it up on the wall.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. Oh, okay.
He had Astra per, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So that's 2 episodes and 2 references. Pretty good track record so far. But yeah, I would like to know who knows about that mission, and I would assume Captain Freeman knows, probably Ransom, and also Temporal Investigations. That would be one of those reports you file with your captain. Your captain goes temporal.
Yeah, there is goo.
Send it off to Temporal Investigations.
There is goo.
The goo.
But Cerritos, happy chap. I love he fixed the tricorder to be a future tech that we're using. That I thought was really nice on second viewing, because often knowledge and passion are what combine to make magic. So engineer Billups would probably know how to do this, but the enthusiasm of the medical person now in them allows for the I like that. It was a nice. And we allowed the other medical guy to say something. Way, finally. Can you imagine being that guy, like hired to play 1 episode in Lower Deck season 2, and then 2 years later, can you come back to reprise? How many lines? Ask how many words? 12. Huh. Right. But it's canon. Like, that's continuity, right? Good.
Yeah. I love this whole... The term is being TWOVIXed.
Yeah.
And the display for it with the orchid. It's great.
Bloody.
Back in the 70s, this happened. The 2270s.
Oh, I love it. But can I start referring to stuff now in fan films?
Back in the 60s.
Because the thing is, you would, right? And it's not as if...
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's not as if you can't reset every 100 years. That's okay. It's fine. The new 20s. It's been 100 years since the 20s. You know, my parents saw it, and they're old. I'm seeing it now, because obviously in that era you'd live at least 100 each, right? So you'll see 2 of the decades. But, yeah. God. It's just so funny. So I could say, oh, yes, back in 1993. Oh, 2393. Yeah, 2393. You're 93.
I got a laugh out of it because I was born in the 70s.
God. Yeah, it's obvious, but until you say it, it sounds silly. And look at Blaine Nick's doing a jig. What a lad. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yeah, so a combination of DNA and memories. We all know this. But the archive was in one of the boxes that they moved, so they feel responsible. Stop socializing with the organism. Organism, I'm a totally unique sentient being. Plus, I'm cool as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been reasonably fond of the swear without swearing, because you get your best of both worlds, right? You get to swear, but also you don't get to swear. Works well.
Yeah, and I love Freeman here. Well, I'm sure Janeway had a solution to this. I'll be back shortly.
Yeah, I mean,
and then the awkwardness of Shax. So how many physical memories do you have? And it took me a second. And I'm like, oh wait, yeah, him and Tiana are in a relationship.
Well, they're in a bang ship.
Yes, exactly.
No, I like Tiana.
Yeah,
Tana.
Tiana.
Because it's true, you know. She's logically thinking we must save our 2 crew members. So don't. It's like you don't name as soon as you name a stray, you don't want to get rid of them. Animal wise, because it's like it's your pet then, but it's not. It's a
And General Grievous, Tillip's uniform pattern is a nod to the TWOVIX uniform on his shoulders. Yes, we already talked about that. It's actually part of the Orchid DNA. That's why all of them have it. It incorporates itself into the uniform. So.
Hi, General. How are you? Have you been enjoying Ahsoka? Because I haven't seen any yet. But hopefully soon. Yeah, the sex joke was quite... Yeah, the eyes open was kind of bold. It's like everything you need to know. And I would like to think, actually, because Billups is a good friend of Shrek's. We've had that bit where, remember, he slapped him 3 times and they, you know. I wonder if in this version they will remember anything about the new life form, because the Billups might get any memories from Tiana, because that would be a hell of a plot line, like a season from now. Like, remember the thing, Billups? Yes, the things you do is like, don't judge me, King. You know, that could be interesting, right? I could see it happening.
I could see Shax and Tiana walking down towards a holodeck and Phillips passing them and being like, yeah, just the.
That's it. Yeah,
that's all he has to do.
Yep. Hallway, which is again a really nice replica, and they've cut up the hallway at an inset for guess who, Stuart?
The Threshold salamanders, at least robotic versions of them.
The Warp 10 salamanders. I mean, that's a long love joke at Trekyards, and you know, they showed other salamanders in season 1, 2, early low. They've already done that joke. At the medical ship. But I mean, hey, when you can acknowledge the absurdity of thresholds and assimilate it and have it take over the ship,
that was pretty great.
Pretty great. And I actually love this idea. And if I ever do more fan films, it's kind of funny to steal like this idea and take a Voyager corridor and just make inserts so you can walk through a set of displays. Because I mean, yeah, you decommission a series of rooms, now you got insets. It's a really nice idea, and you just walk through the corridors aimlessly, you just bump into stuff. Because how the hell do you fit in everything on Voyager that Voyager did, right? Hundreds of exhibits. So I actually think that's really quite fun.
Barry Bend, it's not that easy. Couldn't they just use the transporter to make the separated individuals and Tillip? So separate them and also make Tillip. Yeah, I mean, they're my idea originally, this is a whole discussion with that episode, but they take TWOVIX's DNA and maybe find a way to reconstitute him at some point, but instead of killing him, try to preserve him in some form. It's an ethical thing. It's also a technical thing, which I love later as a solution. We're not in the Delta Quadrant. We're not stuck in Delta Quadrant. Let's take them to Starfleet Medical. We got top scientists and doctors. They could maybe figure out a way to get everybody back and also have Tillips. That's kind of great.
Yeah, I mean, matter cannot be destroyed or created. So the transporter telling it to create a person, like actually create it from whole cloth, like that. Then you just, but if you do that, if you can just take the pattern of TWOVIX and make a new TWOVIX, you can take a pattern of Paris and make a new Paris.
Anybody.
You can clone anybody. You clearly can't do that, otherwise you can make clones. Anybody could steal Voyager, make a clone of anybody. It would be that.
It happened in TOS. We got 2 Kirks because of a transporter thing. The second Kirk was a split version from the first Kirk, so it's not exactly.
And you get the assumption that what they're weak, right? They're not strong, and I can imagine they also had a lower life expectancy. Maybe they half their life. It was.
But then again, Riker and Boimler both had transporter accidents that created a doppelganger.
Also different because it doubled the energy. So because they both rematerialized.
Yeah, but they're both full people. They're not like the Kirk that was indecisive because he didn't have both his halves.
So right, yeah, you could because it mirrored back the signal. So the pattern buffer beamed the same thing twice, thinking hadn't beamed yet.
There would be a solution. I'm sure Starfleet Medical could come up with one, but unfortunately things get out of control before that can be a thing.
So what you have to do, you have to transport a clone Tillips and then demolecularize one of them. That would solve it.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn it, did it. But you know what?
Anyway.
Screw it. We're going to kill one.
The macrovirus is shooting goo everywhere. It hits the holodeck and holodeck controls and initiates programs Chaotica, Clown, and Michael Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
And the computer set them to random.
Safe for
No, set them to safety. And they all materialize in the hallway. Ugh.
And of course, yes, as they say, the Clown was not a holo program. So they had to pull the memories from... Well, I guess they probably scanned the data banks of the thing they were.
In that episode, though, didn't they try? They made a holodeck program to try to fool him, like to test Janeway's theory, whether it would work, if I'm not mistaken. So there would have been a copy of him and.
Well, it was it was a holo of Janeway that went in.
Okay.
Because he wasn't, because that wasn't a hologram either. It wasn't a hologram. It was a brain in a computer. He was a computer. It's not a holoprogram, but also I can honestly see, I can see Janeway creating that guy in the holodeck just to beat him, to win against him, and then or Kim, same thing. I'm not a worthless ensign. I'm a good boy. Whatever. But it's a small note, right? And I like all three of the creature designs, so I'm all for it. And
Frida says, "Oh, sorry, go ahead."
No, that's fine.
Matthew Frida says, "Why can't you just use previous transporter code of each person and bring them back to at that point? Because that's what they did in Voyager. That's how they brought Neelix and Tuvok back. But there's still the moral dilemma of killing Tillips." Which is why they want to send him off to medical, because everybody had a problem with it. Tilly had a problem with it, the ethical implications, until later when it becomes just a Tuvok meatball, or Tillich meatball.
Yeah, who has more right to life? Two people who were born, who live lives, who have friends, or one person that's a day old that has none of those things?
It was created out of two people and has both their memories. It's just kind of an odd ethical dilemma.
I mean, I would still. I think there was a poll that one of the podcast groups did, who wins, and at the end of the day, it's like it's just too disrespectful to two of your friends to not save them. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, it's horrible to not save them.
Grant McGregor throws in $10.
Thank you.
Combining a virgin who is abatement with an openly kind of person, the engineer will never be the same again. Also, they could have dumped him into James Bond hologram to back him up. Okay. They will never be the same if they still remember all the things, which we kind of talked about. But the James Bond hologram, what do you mean?
Bashir. He was sort of James Bond once.
Oh, yeah.
But you're absolutely right, Grant. That would have been funny to play the Virgin card and play it hard and fast.
Mm-hmm.
I have memories of being a pervert and a virgin. I'm a perversion. That you could, but they don't tend to too many.
Perversion. That's a great word.
Thanks, man.
You just invented a really fantastic word.
Thank you, man. That actually could have been a fun joke. But that's the thing. These episodes could be 35, 40 minutes. Could have been, right? Give me longer lower decks. I want it. Yeah. But then...
Perversion. That's a new thing. I like it. Anyway.
Oh, what do you think of the Chaotica voice actor, by the way?
That was great. Was it the same actor? Because it sounded like it.
I can't imagine it was. I mean, that was 30 years ago. I will check. I don't think it was.
I think he did fantastic. I love how later he calls it his laser Luger or something. Like a actual Luger gun, but like futurized. It's like, oh.
Martin Rayner, who does not look like Chaotica to me, because of course, kind of specific look. I mean, it's Ming the Merciless, obviously.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did he reprise? Can't imagine he did. He did not. No, he hasn't acted since 2011. 21. Sorry. He is 77.
Damn.
What a great performance he gave there.
I love who where Boimler was like, these are like Voyager's deepest cuts.
Oh no, doesn't he say Voy's deepest cuts?
Voy's deepest cuts, yeah. Voy is a thing.
I mean,
I love that because TOS, those old scientists, Voy, short for Voyager. It's great.
It makes sense. Well, DS9 speaks for itself, but it does canonize how you can say Voy.
Yeah.
And the clown underdone, but there's already too much to do. And I do quite like the deep cut and then stabbing him. It makes a joke out of a joke, which is kind of fun.
But then why are they in the corridors, which I thought immediately too.
Yeah.
Because they installed holo emitters throughout the entire ship, which is an acceptable compromise for conservation.
Yeah.
Because he's not. But at the same time, the Hirogen also installed holo emitters all over the ship. I'm surprised that wasn't addressed, unless they removed them all, which I assume they might have.
Well, yes. I would assume that holo projectors have passive power needs, even if you're not. So if you're going to beam anybody, if you're going to move any hologram to any deck, you don't want to start up a holo emitter. So it'd always be passively on, which takes a lot of power. So you wouldn't want that system installed on Voyager just because it's a lot of power. That said, of course, the Doctor didn't need it, right? So that wouldn't be a problem. Now it's not an issue at all. I mean, it makes sense anyway. We said this at the time. You'd absolutely want to, maybe if not practically, have a holo museum, as in you can have holo characters giving the tours. You could even, which would be kind of fun. Say there's a multi-room spread of displays. You can have Holo Janeway Season 1 start the tour, and then between exhibits she's into Season 3, Season 6. As the hairs change, the experience changes, you see the evolve. That's an amazing museum thing. Then, in our review, I countered myself with the idea that if you do that, the chance of them becoming sentient holograms that are going to steal Voyager, take over the Delta Quadrant, whatever, quite high. It's Voyager. Maybe don't do the Holo Crew. But yeah, at least they explain it, right? That's deep lore. You don't need that line, but they did.
Sergeant Montgomery says new T-shirt design idea: yards. I like it.
Yeah. Oh god.
Simple.
Yeah. That's true. That is true.
Grant McGregor though, $5. Samuel is right. The episode where the DS9 had the transporter accident, and to find space, they put people like Cisco into the holodeck data. Or they kept them in the buffer. Right? Is that what you're talking about, Grant?
Non-super chat, more detail, because we want to understand.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way, Barry Bend. It's not that simple. You can't just create a person out of replicator material using a previous transporter pattern.
Yeah, people are kind of complicated, and all different veins, arteries, synapses, unique DNA. There's a lot of matter.
Even though you got the pattern in the buffer, you still need something to work with to create it. You can't be a god thing. It can't be overpowered, So.
Otherwise, they would just making clones all the time. If it is that easy.
Yeah. Cisco needs to be here, but he also needs to be here. We'll just create a new one of two Ciscos doing two different things.
And then put them back in the pattern buffer after. So it makes sense you can reset based on a buffer because you are using your physical energy and then resetting it a little bit. That's fine. Although, of course, they did not ever make it that easy. Otherwise, they could heal any injury. It happens occasionally, but it'd be an end-all be-all for disease. Oh, I've got cancer. Okay, I'll bring you back to a pre-cancer state. Right?
You'll eventually get it anyway because it's in your DNA, but hey. We'll just use a dead body, dematerialize it, rematerialize it with that opens a whole new can of worms.
Yeah.
With Phillips pattern over top of it to create a new person.
Oh, God.
The ethical moral implications are too extreme in this whole situation, this whole discussion. And this is not... We'll have this discussion when we review that Voyager episode. This is about lower decks.
But I mean, there is a certain logic to people donate their body to science, donate your body to holographic reconstruction surgery. The transporter reconstruction. Oi. But then couldn't you, if you die, just replicate yourself as a young person again via the transporter?
Yes.
Yes.
Which is what Dr. Ira wanted to do. Or he wanted to put himself in data until he could find a way to extend his life.
Because that would make logical sense. Why can't you make old people young again just by beaming them into the younger body? So it can't be that easy. Otherwise, that would be it.
It's an immortality machine at that point. And it's just like...
Because I mean, we've often talked about the idea of the soul and are you being broken down, killed, and a clone being created. But it would make sense if it is less tangible than that. If that is still the original you, just in a new place, because then you can't beam your original self into a younger self because that's not who you are anymore. There is a disconnect between body, mind, soul, energy factor. You change as you grow. Memories, yeah, you can't even fit your memory patterns into a younger version of yourself because it's not compatible. I mean, how many people Never successful. Well, I mean, you can put a lung from someone else into your body. But the body might not accept it. You can try to fight that process. So maybe transporting yourself into yourself, if things are skewed too far, it rejects. Which is a very simple way of, you can risk it, but once you corrupt your own body, whatever, it messes it up.
But lower decks, we're not going to talk about the TWOVIX problem. It is a whole discussion on its own.
I never thought about that. It's a whole new concept.
Yeah. We have 102 votes on our poll, by the way.
Excellent. What?
We'll read the results.
Oh,
it's a great one. Did you get more feels seeing DS9 in Lower Decks Season 3 or Voyager in Season 4? DS9 edges it out by 51%.
Damn.
That was a close one.
And it was going up and it was fluctuating.
It was.
That's a good poll.
Yeah.
What would you say, Stuart, if you had to vote?
Probably DS9 because the actual characters are back.
I'd say Voyager because we saw more of it. We only saw like 3 places in DS9. We saw everything in Voyager pretty much. But yeah, okay, new poll.
Sweet. Yes, Barry, I know, but that's serving the story. It's whatever the script says. We're not going to talk about this right now. If anything, we will have this debate when we do the Voyager episode review of the episode TWOVIX. But even that will get in the way of the review.
We'll do that in the 30s.
This is exactly. This is a whole live discussion about Lower Decks. So we could have a whole live discussion about the implications of transporter technology, which I believe we've kind of done. We've done some transporter episodes before, and I think we did a live talking about it as well. So we'll keep it for that. Let's just cut it off there. Mark Lawrence, $5. They did it in Rascals, older mind into younger. Grant McGregor, $5. Would have been funny if they tried to clone him in the transporter, but got a child version like in the TNG episodes. Sure. And Sergeant Montgomery laughed and said, both of your votes just made the percentage the same if we both voted on the poll. Yeah. This episode is the same as TWOVIX, obviously, because it's called TWOVIX with TWOVIX. I get the point, but we want to move on and do the rest of the episode. We could be talking about this for hours. We're already at 1 hour and 22, and
Star Trek.
Yeah.
I mean, this was going to be big strip. We see goddamn all of Voyager. But speaking of Voyager, she kisses the guy, and she starts by saying, "And the clan wasn't even a holodeck and she got kissed." She likes the man she can never have. Also,
TWOVIX.
That's a really good scale indicator because we know his exact height. She is much smaller than him. That is like she looks like a child compared to him. How tall is that actor?
So the new poll, TWOVIX, was Janeway right or wrong in murdering him to get other?
That'll be up for 20 minutes. So vote now. That's a quick poll. So
Janeway was right, and I'm going to just put it in the chat right now.
So vote quickly on that. Okay, how tall is a Fairhaven guy? Because that is really interesting how tall and not tall he is. To me, anyway. But yeah, keep going. I mean, next scene.
What happens next scene? Yes, this is where the Borg display topples over, and they are deactivated when it topples over, but I guess it activates. But anyway, it topples over on him, and he's trapped under it, pinned under it, and then we get a cut to the next scene, which is Captain Freeman in her ready room. So,
although of course we get somehow the macrovirus got Harry's clarinet.
Soon we will. Yeah, soon we will.
That's what a thing. His clarinet.
Yeah.
His clarinet survived Voyager. Good job.
Yeah.
Alcove. Never seen back of an alcove. So that was kind of cool. The many goo. Yeah, just adding to the tension. But boy, that's gonna be a scary thing. That green light on your face when it's on your blah. It's not fun. Wouldn't you call for backup? Oh, I guess they're already. Well, they're in Federation space. They can get backup. Call for backup, guys.
Next thing though, with Freeman, she's like, she killed him.
Murder. They use the word murder.
Yes, but Shaq says there's got to be more to it. Can we get Tiana back? And he's like, well, we're not stranded in the Delta Quadrant. Let's take them back to Earth and get some help. That's a great idea. Because it is. They got Starfleet Medical. They got scientists. They got the whole. They're not stuck on a ship in the Delta Quadrant by themselves, which was the problem with the whole episode for that one. This is great. It's a great solution. Good job. Keep it up.
And also, you how long can you go in the Delta Quadrant without your chief security officer?
Yeah,
kind of important, right? Kind of important. But no, I like this conversation a lot. She's like, huh, murdered him, and Shaq says, wow, Jeremy's hardcore. It's like, yeah,
yeah.
And this is from hardcore Bajoran terrorist.
Yeah.
And she's, you know what I mean, like that. It makes a lot of sense. But I like it. You know, we can skip past the ethical because there is going to be a way that Starfleet can do this in a better way. And you would absolutely think somebody in Starfleet took a look at TWOVIX and said, "Ooh, what if that ever happened again? Let's look at how to, pet project. There's another way, right?"
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very smart, and they try, right? They're, we'll find a way. Oh fuck!
Somebody would have been looking into that for sure.
Yeah.
Grant McGregor, $5. There needs to be a Lower Decks episode where the writers are being questioned by Trek fans. The why not dead body is a seed of a great joke. Why not use a dead body? Yeah.
But not Tiana, head of engineering kit. I love it. So it's Billups' to the quarters. I mean, that's going to be Billups, right?
Yeah. And he sees the exact same thing that Freeman did. You're not going to kill me. Meglamo, I need to deal with my existence.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Oh, exciting. Yeah, don't do any self-care until I get there.
I like Meglamo. He's ridiculous. I like him.
Yes.
And boy, what a lad to build a single person transporter in your goddamn quarters. Ooh. In the time it takes from Captain's ready room to quarters, that's like a minute.
Yeah.
Unless he's in the Spock turbo lift, about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
And what a glorious shot of not where the cargo bay is. It'd be further along, you'd think, but whatever. Oh, it's regenerating me. I can feel it. Yes.
Yeah, maybe we can cut the power.
And it activates for sure.
Yeah.
And then somehow assimilates the... I don't quite understand.
It's a Borg nanite. You must have missed one. And then it's supposed to be microscopic, but it must have assimilated to the macrovirus. So it assimilated its size up because nanites attack small viruses or small cells. So it encountered this, scanned it, and sized itself up to attach to it. That's kind of the explanation we got.
This is where we get into Rick and Morty territory.
Yes.
It's a flying assimilated... this thing.
Which infects the ship, by the way.
With a laser.
Yeah, it goes to a panel and infects the ship.
Yep.
A macro nanite, they call it.
Yep.
Ray Ricks, £5. This isn't a criticism or actual confusion, but I thought nanobots aren't supposed to work. Or at least that's what Prodigy seemed to suggest.
Also, they're called nanoprobes, not nanobots.
Nanites.
Nanoprobes. Yeah. Yes. But this is a Voyager one. We assume this will be a 791, which is not connected to the collective, so it'll be fine.
That's true.
There you go. Because it's going to be, I assume it was... Although, boy, what a shitty decon crew to miss a virus and a nanoprobe. Which, yes, it's microscopic, but you can scan for it, right? It's very dangerous.
Not only that, but Voyager crew missing all these things as well.
Yes.
The macrovirus, especially on the bridge behind the panel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
And also, I love the fact that it jumps off macrovirus, what's assimilated to other things. It's like, okay.
We see it in a second what it did. It attaches to the salamander.
Yes, it did. You know, really high-tech, advanced. God, such a ridiculous thing. And then lots of clowns. Rah! And lots of love
More
palettes.
Sullivans.
But Boimler is fine. And then this goddamn salamander. God.
Anyway,
Ridiculous.
They go confront Tillips, and he's like, "You're not gonna kill me. We're not trying to kill you. We're gonna figure this out. We got the best doctors in Starfleet at our disposal. Figured out."
Nope.
No, I need allies. Shoves the flower in, shoves him into the beam, and zoom.
Very cool.
And then we get like a super sexy, scrumdiddly umptious
Right.
Doctor Captain. What is her name here? Friegelman.
You don't really get a sense of who the other characters are, though, because we ran out of time in the episode, but visually, very
They
cool.
say their names. They do say each of their
Sure.
names at one point.
Yeah. So you can sell plushies of them. But I'm very impressed with the Mate Transporter. I love the pacing here, because it goes from being one storyline to the real storyline, and you only realise when they do, and it's nice and hard-hitting. Not sure how he got any more of the flower, given that it's in a box somewhere, and he probably in his quarters.
Yeah.
But
That's
whatever.
the one sticky point for me too.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
And also rope. I love old school rope. You know? We're going old school bandit on it. But yeah, really fun reveal. And isn't it great that the replicator, the transport knew to untransport the rope?
Yeah.
Very useful. But not fix the
Oh,
eyesight.
But use it to create her clothing.
Yeah. Yep. It's great. Water room temperature. Most boring order possible.
And they talk about the ethical debates about
Mhm.
what's going on. She's like, I just arrived here. I'm impartial. Well, we're friends, right? Yeah. And then more people come in, and the Shax has been merged with the lady. I forget her name, but we'll hear her merged name in a minute.
I love every time I see the... Reminds me of Scruffy from Futurama, but the bartender, because we know he's this weird old knows nothing, knows everything kind of guy, so he adds just character to every second. It's like... Yes.
Yes, Tamanek. Her name is Barnes. You're right.
Mm.
Yes. Anyway, they drag everybody off to make more hybrids. Mariner gets gooed by Sullivan in the hallway. Take from that what you will. Change the color of the goo. To which Boimler shows up to save her. And they have a whole discussion about, I didn't want to be promoted. Last time it ruined our friendship. It took us months to fix it. She's like, you're stupid. I recommended you for promotion. I didn't want to tell you. I wanted to be a surprise. You have the confidence to do this. You don't need me. Go. She gives him a pep talk.
Yeah. And as a side note, I don't love the fact that they're now using the virus to pump goo on people, because they're not connected to the holograms, unless they're all assimilated, but they're clearly not. So that didn't make sense either.
Yeah.
Especially that guy. He's like, oh, my wife. She's gonna put goo on people. Wait, what?
But you can make the argument that the macro virus would not be trying to infect or attack a hologram. It's not a person.
Mm-hmm.
So the holograms could like scoop them and grab them easily, or maybe
Easily, yeah. Yep. But yeah, it's a good speech. It's a nice speech. I did keep thinking there's a twist here, as in Mariner can get free, or something, and I like at the end when Ransom shows the log, it's not she can get free. Oh, I'm doing this for you. It's, real situation. She's being real. I did quite like the pat on the head joke, because we've all done that. It makes no sense in the moment. Just boy does something. It's like, it's all right. Yeah, I don't know why.
Felt weird to me too.
It's like, I'm sure we've all hugged a wife, and it should be a kiss. It's like, what? Why did you do that? It's like,
Or you say I love you to somebody that's not your wife, because you're used to saying I love you.
yeah. A funny disconnect, which is fun. Yeah.
It's not. It's awkward as hell. But hey. So now we're in the transporter room. We got Shabarnes, which is Jackson Barnes, and Swale Swalens, which is Steve Stevens and Barry the Whale. Or Matt the Whale, sorry. Not his best work.
Yep.
I'm a fish.
My dad's version character gets abused so hard on this show.
Put this picture.
I did.
After, oh.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean, though? He got killed by Kublai Khan and then brought back.
I'll go to the next picture where he's like...
Oh, God. Oh, that's the thing. Oh, Stu, did you face double for this?
Yeah, I was. They molded it after me. Right. They called me up and said, "Make the weirdest hair, though."
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he got open heart surgery in one episode. They like sort of his leg at one point. Like I say, got killed by a dragon. He got gay sex rode somebody in a scene. Whatever. Like he's the man, and now he's a whale. A dolphin, whatever.
Matthew DeFreitas, Fockings.
Oh yeah. And look, the he has very long boots because I guess it's kind of as if a flipper logic. Huh. Although I quite like the bartender guy, then that's a new uniform variant by itself with the two sides of black. Kinda cool.
I think those actually aren't boots. I think that's just like his feet, his legs, and his feet because they're like fins.
So that's what I mean. But it feels like medical boots. But yeah, it could be that as well. But that makes sense, though, doesn't it? Because they're boot-like logic things.
Yeah.
Because each of these characters had to be fully designed, even if they only got 3 seconds of screen time, right? So you kind of sense that design logic, which I like, even though it's gross. Oh, poor Jen. And she did get beams. She might be in the next shot. Did you see her?
I looked. I don't think she
Okay,
is.
just before. Okay, so even though we heard the beam... No, even though we saw the beam, she wasn't beamed. Okay, bit of a continuity error there, but that's okay.
Yes. But T'Lyn, she circumvents the Starfleet because it's very easy. Starfleet systems are very easy circumvented.
We learned them in school. Which school? Oh, year 1. Oh.
Yeah, kindergarten.
Yeah.
So she takes control of the transporter and beams everybody into the brig. Yeah. It's kind of great, actually. I love that it's just so simple. Like, yeah, it's Starfleet. It's easy to override this. It's great. But yeah, they... Yeah, Jen's still on the transporter pad, so...
Yeah. But I like this, and it's a good way of bringing her as an importance factor, and she's so, as in T'Lyn, she's so in the zone, but she's... All Vulcans are smart, doesn't mean you're a smart Vulcan, right? So she's not the experienced enough character to know what might happen besides the basics. So I love the fact that she does a whoopsie here. Although interesting, she's able to hold them in the pattern buffer and then beam them via tricorder. Interesting note. I've never seen that before. And you know, the new officer, the new character in season 5, I'm guessing, Blobby. Two Blob.
Meatball.
Meatball Blobby. TWOVIX.
And Salen, that's funny. They made him on purpose.
Oh. Sorry.
Yes, it's better.
It's pretty gruesome. I'll be honest. It was it's not great.
And then she's like, I can turn it back to their individual components. And the tricorder's like, error. There's too many genetic signatures to isolate them.
And the subtlety in a slightly faster speaking, slightly concerned yet unemotional Vulcan. I felt that.
Yeah.
It's there. Damn. Because you can tell she's worried. And also not feeling worried.
Mark Lawrence, $2. Looks like Shaq's got TWOVIX with Barnes.
We like Barnes.
All right. So then we see the salamanders in the captain's chair.
And the warp out, Stuart. The first time we got to the pylons warp
Yes.
in, like, what, 25 years? Awesome.
Yep.
Well done, guys.
Great.
Then this... Oh, God, this fucking happening. I don't know what's happening, Stuart.
Well, they're setting a course to the closest Borg cube 858779,
Which is apparently in Federation space, in warp distance, less than a day, only a couple of hours, and they get basically to it. They get one little block away. Damn. And I guess because they know the name of the cube, which means they talk to the collective then to be able to know the name of the cube, or do they keep...
So unless it's in Starfleet records, they know that cube's there, but it's
Ooh,
dormant.
See, that would have been nice. That would have been fun.
That would make sense because they're all hobbled right now, right?
And these are the only active Borg nanoprobes in the quadrant, or at least conceptually. That would have been fun if they... Oh, can you imagine if it was the artifact? They just warp in, and it's the same thing, and there's like a Romulan ship near it, and then they get rescued. And then, that would pay off. Hope it's not a Roman neutral zone thing.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. I know that's not the neutral zone, but, you could massage those facts a little bit to make it work.
And we get a great shot of Voyager changing course, and you're absolutely right. Every one of those frames is fucking motion blurred.
Yeah. It's a great shot, though. It's very Voyager. Although it does bug me how bright all the glows are. They are never that bright, and it's obnoxious, but it's low-deck style.
Yeah.
And it's also just a grey ship. Voyager is not grey. It's dark egg blue. It's actually a blue ship. It's beautiful. That is a bright grey.
Yeah.
But at least the blinky's right. Oh, he misses
Well,
his
Boimler
wife. Oh.
And Boimler comes to the rescue. Sullivan misses his wife, I guess.
Okay.
But Boimler comes to the rescue in astrometrics.
With a cool... Didn't know that was there. Turbo, Jeffrey's tube. Access.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And Ransom's like, get us down. He's like, no, I don't have time. I need an engineer. So he just takes Rutherford. And Ransom's yelling at him, if we survive this, we're going to have a long talk. But glad he only took one of them because they wouldn't have time for all of them to get away before Sullivan came back. So Boimler did the right thing.
Yes. Jeffrey's tube, purple Jeffrey's tube. Again, one shot, love it. Ugh.
Yeah, we got to break Voyager.
Sick bay, Jesus. That is gruesome. And look, one of the hands is clicking the panel on the right. That's gruesome by itself. Ugh.
Ugh. Yeah. I love how Tillin's like, High Command will not be impressed with my error.
You can say that again.
It's okay. This modified tricorder that Tillips did can find individual personalities. And I love the whole, this area is proud, confidence, and a little silly. That's the captain.
I quite like the new tricorder as well. It actually feels quite a bit different than the standard version, which is more comedic. I actually quite like and the scanner's quite cool. Yeah, I mean, I like this concept. Yeah, I mean, and I do feel like Ten is quite an empath, not literally, but she gets people's emotions. She might get them wrong, but she's very personal centric. So the idea of, I mean, the giant aggression. There's only going to be Shacks. It makes sense, right? There is definitely those characters have definite traits. The creepy undertone, the love of bartending. Yeah, there you go.
The love of fish.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Anyway, they're gonna. And I love how Tillin's like, you don't have an ethical problem helping or with the solution. She's like, I did, but this is a non-sentient blob of meat. So.
And she says it's so damn chipper.
Yeah, of course she does.
Yeah, it is a very smart way of actually skipping the whole ethical problem that defines the episode of Voyager. By making it 50,000 times worse, that becomes a medical emergency. Not anything ethical. It does feel like they skipped the most important part. By doing so, you're allowed to have the fun, right? And can keep the question of Voyager alive. Because if they did do it here, 2 case studies does change the paradigm, right? 2 captains, 2 crews both thought it. So, yeah, it's a good line. I'm glad they said it and the way they did. I'm glad you called her out on it. It's like, the one thing you're saying is it's ethical. That's fine. Good.
Yeah.
We addressed it.
Oh, the next scene in the turbo. Are you sure this is going to work? Nope. But it feels like a kooky Voyager solution, so it's worth a try.
Yep.
He's got a cocking gun full of cheese.
It's the most basic thing ever. We've all got on our house for goddamn, like, my dad used to do it for, like, bathroom, the toilet.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so simple. And I feel like if they put, like, 3 blinking lights in it, it could be a Rick Sternbach prop. You know, you need a little bit of blinkies, you know? And good turbo 2.
So Voyager 001, what if there's only 2 people? What about when there's only 2 people left in the blob? Well, they wouldn't do that. They would separate them all at the same time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because you know where the patterns are. I'm guessing they would collapse more like... This isn't a real entity, right? It's an amalgam of unstable something.
Yeah.
You just do it all in one go, for sure. Well, I think as to the quick poll, this is what I mean about you. Everyone says it as a zeitgeist, but 59 votes. TWOVIX, was Jamie right or wrong in murdering him, their words, to get both characters back? 83% says she was right. That's not even close. So people call it an argument. That's like that's 7 people. That's it. So you know, I'm happy to say.
The poll speaks for itself, man.
Yeah, I've seen that poll many times done that same way.
Yeah. All right. We have 77 likes. We want 80, so we need 3 more likes. If you haven't hit like yet, hit the like button. Grant McGregor super chats in with $10, so thank you so much. I like how this episode references both Janeway's questionable things, deleting a life for a greater good, and deleting a hologram because he was lonely. Indeed. I still say hashtag Janeway did nothing wrong, but hey. All right, I assume we'll have a new poll in just a second here, guys, so make sure you vote on it.
There you go.
All right, the new poll is season 4 shaping up to the best season of Lower Decks? Yes, season 4 is looking good. Season 3 was the best. Season 2 was the best, or season 1 was the best. Go vote. Kind of hard to tell. Kind of early to tell. But we got 2 episodes, and what do you guys feel?
Yeah.
All right. So they sneak on the bridge. And Boimler's like, I am the son of Captain Proton. Impossible. How could that be?
Yeah, they don't really pay that off in any meaningful way. I know it's a delay tactic, which is a little more to that joke, especially as you have the holo emitters. You could have said, like, you could have prepped the computer in the turbolift to do that, and on command change his appearance. Would have been...
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, like, that would have made sense. But I like Paris in the background.
Yeah.
And he knows Paris. There is some logic there. They did say, I believe in Paris' episode, they did go to the bar after the event and chat. That's where he signed stuff. So that can you imagine though if they'd it's not how Lodex runs, but imagine this scene if they actually said 2 years earlier, back to the episode, they're in the bar. I love Captain Proton, and he starts telling him like what happened next. There could be a really weird that's their cameos back in season 2. But yeah, it doesn't work. But I love Chaotica's reaction. That's anything makes him scared.
And immediately the ship drops out of warp. Again, we see another warp out with the nacelles doing this thing.
Although
no. And we also get them all glitching.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Saints preserve us. I'll cut off your head. Anyway, we broke Voyager. Yay!
And they're not yet the Borg cube, because that was an unintentional dropout. So that's important to clarify there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really mess up Voyager. I mean, shit.
Gummed up the neural network just the way it likes. Jeez.
Which I appreciate it was set up earlier. It was an offhand joke. It doesn't make it feel very creative, but it makes it logical, which at the end of the day is often a useful thing.
Yeah.
And then they rescue the salamander. It's so ridiculous. Apparently they have enough time to clean though, in the half a day, quarter of a day to go home.
I love how the guy's mad. He's like, now I have to add another exhibit to the Voyager story.
It was so close to being done today.
And then we get the Voyager music.
Yes,
dun,
we
dun,
do.
Dun, 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 and Earth.
What a lovely. Although,
Grand opening.
Starfleet Command is in Paris. This is Starfleet Academy.
Starfleet headquarters, yeah.
Or is that Federation headquarters?
Might be Federation headquarters in Paris.
Because I think that's probably what it is. Yeah. But this is a nice shot. I like the fact the deltas are pointed. That's kind of subtle but nice.
Yeah, and the delta on the big sign by the ship is right. It's correct. It's not like the ones on their uniforms.
I love these known landing legs, because I thought when they said this joke it was going to be like held up by stuff. But no, this thing can land, so we're landing it in the garden.
Yep. I
love it. Although I don't know the ramp's new. I don't know. There's no airlock there, so they had to do something there. But I'm okay with it. It's just well, it would have been kind of nice as a double joke if they had like a line around the block. A small note. Yeah. There's quite a lot of people, but
it would also been cool if they had like a temporary transporter set up with like lots of pads. You see people go on and then line up for the transporter pads. So even with transporters, you still have to wait in line.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I see what you mean. And it's nice. It's a sweet visual. I really like this. This is why you don't have to blow up your ships, right? If you don't blow up your ship, you can have all these random civilians walking, talking, looking around the set, and it feels so just sweet in its own way. And you imagine this is the entire ship, and it's that's a lovely way for it to end, right? Just it's lovely.
Would have been great though to have a cameo at this point. Have somebody come back either touring the old ship or giving guided tours, like Kim or the doctor or somebody.
Yeah, my example in our editor review was that it would have, and this is not a money-based cameo, it's just time and effort. If you'd had this scene and one more scene of the bridge or the Delta Flyer exhibit, right? So B1, right? And you had Paris, Tom Paris, Blanc Torres, and Morale Paris all holding hands like a family, very cute, like 3-year-old, walking up to his exhibit, and that's it, and just like a sentimental look, because they haven't been on the ship for a couple of years, it's been restored, it's nice, this is their quarters, this is where you were born, Morale, like, look, to see that character have been super sweet, and you've already got Tom, Bolano wouldn't be difficult, Morale, invent that's fine, super sweet. I think that would have been a very logical, because you can imagine the daughter would say, can we go back home, Dad, it's landed. This was ostensibly where I was born, would have been nice, I think.
Yeah. But we get the last display, which is Rutherford and Boimler and the cheese.
I love it. Looks exactly like the TNG, like, talking rock thing. Just obviously upscaled. Like, it's a very Trek display, even though it's just a tube thingy and some cheese, as you say.
Yeah.
But yeah, forever, those bastards are now on the Voyager. What a fame. What a crazy group of kids.
And we see everybody back to normal in sickbay with the voiceover saying, after putting this awkwardness behind us, we're moving on with the promotion ceremony. And the freakingly bizarre series of Voyager-themed obstacles.
That's funny. But you'd say that.
Yeah.
And this was a really sweet scene to go on. Because you knew Boimler would be promoted, but they kept escalating the scene. Because any being promoted is an interesting story. Mm-hmm. All to be promoted next week was a big thing, and each one's kind of feels like a surprise, which I like. Because Tendi comes out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
And I guess that's the entire group promoted, because there's only so many boxes on the table. But yeah, all Lieutenant Junior, they all relate it differently, even to then you can tell she's proud with that stoic face, really proud. Mm-hmm. They all do it in their own way. I love it. It's really sweet, actually.
I love how Ransom's like, good thinking today.
Yeah.
To Boimler. That was great.
Because they did. They all saved people, ship, and legacy.
Mm-hmm. And Teddy's like, I got it.
Yeah. And then what did Tlyn say?
What does she say here? Well, she says it's unexpected, but thank you. And then she says, my main objective here was to prove to the High Council that I should be reinstated to the Vulcan fleet. But after today, I've grown to respect your skills as a scientist. And Tenny's like, I'm so excited we got promoted together, and now we can be science buddies. This is not the lesson to take from this moment.
That's a great line.
Yeah.
And then a giant curveball, which is great. Yeah. What happens, Stuart?
Mariner. Well, she says, first of all, it looks like half Beta Shift's going to be promoted. Yay. And then her name gets called, and she's like, what? Okay. So she goes to Ransom's quarters and is like, I don't want this. Stop sliding it back to me. Just throw it away. And again, Ransom's character development has been great, because in this season he's really standing out, I think.
Yeah,
he says,
especially he's the like deathish of knucklehead, but he gets smarter every season.
Yeah,
but also it makes sense that these are characters that, because Mariner wasn't on the ship for a ton of time, and she's rebelling every goddamn day, and the other ensigns were new. It makes sense you go with your officers, and you form a bond, and it's genuinely sweet, and you know it's trouble for Mariner, and you know it's going to be big, and you know, you pushed their buttons next week. They demoted you because you pushed them. You rebelled. Yeah. Otherwise, God knows how many ranks you'd be. Because she was.
He strokes his own ego, though. Here,
yes.
He says, you've had a lot of small-minded commanders who promoted then demoted you, but now you're with Jack Ransom. I'm twice as smart as any of those guys. You just need somebody to believe in you.
Yeah.
Consider yourself lucky to have such an amazing commanding officer with his reflection in the pit.
Yeah,
it's great.
Very apt, right? This is just in character. And it looks so weird seeing with two pips. It confuses my brain. I like it. I love the black pip. I actually love the way that combines. But she's trying to be stubborn. She tries to hold her breath, stamp on the feet on the ground. Nope, just gonna do press ups. I kind of expected Ransom to take his shirt off for the press ups, just to kind of be more Ransom of it.
Yeah,
but
he's just ignoring her at this point, because she's like, I refuse this promotion. I'm gonna stand here until you do you.
Yep. It's a good scene, and next week it makes sense to pay off to that.
Yeah,
it is good. And then we have, is it lower decks anymore for Lieutenant Juniors? And he says Lieutenant Juniors, and I love the way he said that, because we've made that joke before in Trek Shorts. We're
like the mid tier. We get all the work and none of the perks. All the responsibility and none of the perks. So we still are lower decks.
Yeah.
The lowest of the mid-level officers. Is what he says.
Yes, which is true. I mean, you don't have a team, but you have better jobs. But as he says, we won't be doing the grunt work, the true grunt work.
Yes.
Which is great. It pushes the stories, because they've been doing world-saving stuff in theory anyway, but it lets us go a bit further. Yeah.
I love the chanting too. Lower decks, lower decks. New jobs with no mysterious threats to get in our way is the dialogue. Yeah. And it's like, no mysterious threats, no mysterious threats. Somewhere Klingon space. Ah, shit.
Yep. I mean, it's very on the nose. Lower decks love dialogue. And I also love Rutherford. You should get promotion. Well, engineers get promotions for fixing things, not breaking things. It's true. Like, it would be ridiculous, right? And he didn't do much compared to them. He really didn't. Like, that was Klingon loved Bird of Prey. I saw that shot and thought, oh, I should do more shots of the Bird of Prey. That's how good. Goddamn. How old is that design? 35 years old? 40 years old? Goddamn glorious to you and your design. Yeah, and Stuart.
Yes.
The most important thing of this scene, we've got Klingon towel guy.
Yes, of course you do. These are the lower decks of the Bird of Prey.
I know, we've got Klingon towel guy. That's so great. It's great. I didn't notice him if he was in Voyager. So what do you think of their interaction then? Because they're new people.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. The whole, it's a coward's weapon, poking people at a distance. And then they go to get in a fight. You free for lunch today? They're serving eyes or hearts or something. You're not make it. Just transcribing tedious battle tales.
Yeah, I thought it was a really fun dynamic, because you can't have your cake and eat it unless you play it like this. The cake, of course, being Klingons are aggressive, and somewhat vicious and quick to anger, quick to violence. But if all Klingons on a ship are like that, they'll be killing each other or hurting each other. But if you're all like that, just like you and me, if you bitch at me in a mean way, I know a real bitch, a fake bitch, and a fun bitch. So if they know they're just playing, then they can de-escalate within 1 second, as it did. And it has to work like that for them to have both their cake and eat it, right? So I thought it was actually quite nice to see.
But they have a vessel blocking their path. And important note here, there's one life sign on board. So there's somebody aboard it.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
I didn't hint
I read one life sign on board, Captain.
Ooh. Okay.
And a lot of people have speculated from last night's first reaction that they think that the people are being beamed off and the ships are being destroyed. I just assumed everybody was being killed, but I could see that being a thing. They're collecting all of these crews and destroying the ships. I just love how after they destroy the ship, I mean, this thing is very meticulous in the way it destroys ships because it always keeps like the Klingon symbol or the Romulan symbol. that part of the hull you can't crack that. It has to be floating there. Just saying.
Well, didn't you know that part of the ship is from the previous version of the ship that someday you might have to deal with time travelers and then pull it off the ship and then... Although, small note, this shot I have on the live stream, that's Martok's symbol. This is the House of Martok, bird of prey.
Oh, nice.
Very subtle detail. Cool.
Interesting.
And it feels like quite a big ship, but I don't imagine it is. You can't tell these shots, so they're so abstract, right? But yeah, it's worth noting the ship can disable weapons and power, is the abstract notion of that.
And lower shields, yeah.
Not that, which obviously, yeah, that's actually interesting, because if it lowers shields, any weapon is strong enough to go through a hull of a much lower grade, right? The shield is what protects you. So they might not be a really powerful ship, it might just have the ability to hack. I'm wondering, of course, if they're going to reverse the reverse and have it be Section 31 Boimler.
Oh,
as a
yeah,
direct
maybe.
payoff, because it's an undescript ship. It can turn stuff off. You'd have access codes to things. That wouldn't be a big problem. I love that of capturing them. That I think is really, really interesting. That'd be a double twist, causing chaos. But the fact that we kind of see a big kablooey in their face kind of implies not saved.
That's what I thought. I thought they were all dead, but a lot of people said it looks like to them that they're being...
I like that.
There's no bodies in the wreckage was the logic. I'm like, that doesn't...
Well, in fairness, you would find a body in the wreckage, in that amount of wreckage. Like, conceptually, you would find...
Yeah.
But that's very interesting. I would be... I mean, Mike's clever, right? I don't think it's going to be a brand new alien race. I think it's going to be one we know, or a character we know, or an AI, hopefully. But it's definitely a dramatic end, obviously. And, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, for the Klingon... A Gumpek class, blah, 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 blah. Yeah?
Yeah.
We knew them so little. And then we have it.
That is the end of the episode, people.
Let's better get the score graphic up.
It's been a good discussion. So hit the like button if you haven't already. We have 85 likes. I'd like to get to 100 if possible. So another 15. I think we can do that. No problem. Now is the time where you put in your scores, though. Super chat in with your scores. I will read those after we are done with ours, or just put them in the regular chat if you want Sam to read them out. But please super chat in with any last thoughts or scores that you have. We'd really appreciate it. Maybe it's a new Centations probe. Centations.
He means well probe.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Anyway, could be. Maybe it's, like I said, it's the beluga whale one. It's the smaller white one.
It's Matt's parents. He missed his last curfew, so they're causing chaos.
Yeah, I love it.
So, Stuart, what do you think of Season 4, Episode 1? And, big question, has your opinion changed after our over 2 hour, well, maybe we had a long intro, a 2 hour breakdown of 25 minutes of content?
Opinion hasn't changed. It's still a really fantastically fun episode. I did learn a few things, Voyager things, from you. Of course, you're much more schooled on Voyager than I am, and I think it's really fun. There are some problems if any of these episodes, any new Trek, if you look any Trek at all, if you look too far into it, there are problems. Of course, there's the dilemma with the transporter, which was a huge conversation at one point. um, it's a moral dilemma. It's not that easy, kind of thing. Whatever. That was the least of my concerns watching this episode. I was just having a really good time. I love how it is kind of eventually solved. However, everybody kind of worked together to do their thing. Boimler saved Rutherford. Rutherford just broke the ship. You got Saloon and Tendi working together. Mariner's given, the confidence to Boimler, giving him the pep talk. I liked it. I liked how it all ended too with the promotions. I was very bummed that Rutherford didn't get one. Whatever will happen?
It might take a whole season, Stuart.
It might. If you go watch our edited review, we actually say that. It's kind of funny. Anyway, I thought it was a fantastically fun episode. Voyager getting some love is amazing. Loved the music in this one. The Voyager, and seeing Earth, it was really fantastic. Seeing the ground display with it landed, I love that too. That's a great way to show off the ship a little bit. So yeah, some fun stuff in this for sure. Bringing back some of the holodeck programs, like they said, Voyager's deep cuts. It's funny. Good character development from everybody, I think, including up to promotions, and even Ransom. As I said, Ransom is kind of the standout for me this season so far, having seen episode 2 as well. We'll see how he does, but really enjoying it. And as for scoring,
and remember, we do 2 scores for Lower Decks this season and all seasons Lower Decks. Or as in this, well, I mean, yeah, it is for this season, of course, but it's enjoyment, isn't it? Right?
Enjoyment, yeah, enjoyment factor. Enjoyment factor for me for this one would have to be 8.8, very high. For all Lower Decks, this one's definitely up there as well, though. I'll probably give this one I have no idea what I scored any of the others from previous seasons, so I'll give this one an 8.6 for all Lower Decks. Tying in with another one of the shows is a big good thing in my opinion. So
what would have got it a 9 on either metric?
I was originally going to give it a 9, but I thought I should scale when I was scoring it. Would have given it a 9. I don't know. I think it deserves a 9, honestly, but I didn't want to score too high and screw my rating system for this season.
That's up to you, Stuart. I mean, we always retrospect after the fact. Do what you want, my good man. Do what you want. If that's what your heart says, go where your heart says.
Well, for personal enjoyment, I'll give it a 9 then.
Okay.
Right on. But
see, I'm a good influence. I say nice things. Cool. And guys, keep super in our comments. We'd love to get another 5-10 super chats of just like $2. Just let's hear your thoughts, guys. That's really important to us. And vote
your scores.
Well. Yeah, and the scores. My thoughts. It's as I said as I started the editor review. Am I being sucked in by the Voyager love? I don't know. Right? There is 2 stories here that are meaningful. They're interesting. But it is, at the end of the day, a 20-something minute cartoon with slightly exaggerated physics, logic, and pacing. So, you know what I mean? It's a different bundle to look at, like with The Strange Worlds. I can't judge it in full queue.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yeah, of course.
You asked me what would make it a 9 or push it up. A cameo from one of the Voyager crew would have upped that exponentially.
That's what I was waiting for you to say, yeah.
It would probably been like a 9.7 or something.
Oh, wow.
But
Jesus. But at Stranger Worlds, you've got to look at it through the lens of not being visually canon, and that's a problem sometimes, because you kind of got a cognitive dissonance, the logic, right, to make it work. Why are the ships so big? Why is distance? Who the fuck cares, right? They don't care. So I can't judge the animatedness on it as a detractor. So what are we getting here? A really incredible Voyager recreation that is lovingly done to a detail that's entirely unnecessary and goes beyond what any of us would have predicted. There's really deep cuts that are also fully recreated, as if, of course, you would recreate the clown and not visually reboot him. Of course you wouldn't. Of course, Chaotica should be in colour, because that's visual update. Yeah, like
Yeah, that's how stupid those visual updates
that's
are.
how stupid Strange Worlds would be, right? So
Exactly.
this is the truest what you want, and that is incredible. There is something missing here story-wise for me. Probably because it's 2 stories. If it had been 1 story, given more time, like DS9 is the one was more 1 story, so it gave it a deeperness. This does not have that. I think doesn't help a little bit story-wise, but it's 2 good B stories. Yeah, it's 2 good B stories, no A story, which is odd because it's on Voyager, but it's not the strong. It's not an A story, you know. I guess the A story is Boimler's promotion, but it's only an A story for the first minute, like, and then the end. So that I think is partially, you know, it's not that it's confused or distracted or unbalanced. It's just a little bit too much for 24 minutes, I think. But enjoyment factor, it was a really fun watch, and I really like seeing it respected in a way that's wonderful. You know, museum, people like it, it's legacy. This is canon, so there's now the logic, right? That's really sweet. I really like it, and it's creative, and it pulled the rug out of your feet multiple times, and I give them all the credit for that. And the promotion at the end is excellent. So I agree. I don't think it's 9 territory, or at least I would have agreed with you change. I think it's something about it doesn't hit my 9 scale, which hopefully shows I'm not swaying them by, you know, just the whatever of it, right? But it is definitely well written, well paced, well acted, good logical thoughts. It's just missing a little bit of something for me. But there's a reason the exceptional episodes are exceptional, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is memorable, and it feels on a different bar to season 3. You know, and that feels weird to say, but it does. But it's really higher tier, and it can't not be with Voyager love. I'm happy to give enjoyment factor a solid 8.8. I would have matched you if you hadn't have upped it. All lower decks is different because they've got some really good lower decks. Really good. Yeah. This is a very good, not really good. So I think, and I reserve the right to change my score based on the season, because the season might have much better, much worse, right? I'm going to go for an 8 for all of lower decks, but reserve the right to tweak that after the fact in our retrospective, because that will be this season dependent, right? Not by a lot. Like, it won't get to a 9, obviously, but it could go a bit higher. But it's definitely, I mean, that 8s are still excellent, right? Like, still excellent. It's just, this is a great show, so at 8s, you know, keep making 8s. Like, good, do it.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
Speaking of retrospectives, Danny Janey came into last night's live going, did I miss the Strange New Worlds one? No. We still have to do that at some point, and we will get to it. It's just been a busy time for both of us.
And you were away, then this.
And I got the next 2 weekends for me are super busy as well, so
there you go.
might end up doing it after Lower Decks, actually, if we can hold out that long.
Goodness.
We probably won't do that. We'll probably do it during Lower Decks.
Just during a week and day.
Yeah. But
yeah.
We
won't miss the Lower Decks one, because this is way more cool to do retrospective.
Yes. Let's get to the super chats.
Yes.
Ray Ricks throws in £5, a 9 out of 10. Just so great to have Lower Decks back and great episodes to start. # save Star Trek Prodigy. Indeed.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Oh, and happy Star Trek Day, Stuart. Happy Star Trek Day.
Yeah. Yes, Star Trek Day. Sergeant Montgomery Mako, $2. 8 walls out of 10 when they fell. Okay, Kayshawn, thank you. Ray Ricks, member for 18 months at the rank of captain, says, Moopy.
Moopy.
Moopsy.
Moopsy.
Moopsy. There you go.
Moopsy. Yeah.
General Grievous, $2. Kim at the ceremony, but not getting promoted. Boom, 10. Oh, that's mean. Poor Kim. My God. And Grant McGregor, $5. 8 out of 10. I'm betting the big bad will be 29th century Packlids kidnapping people to make their time machine go. Oh, my God. That's great.
That's pretty great.
That is great.
That's pretty good.
So there you go. Those are the super chat scores.
You guys are so creative.
Go vote in the poll while Sam reads the other scores in the regular chat.
And final vote in the poll, because this is a damn interesting poll.
We might have a 0.
Yeah. Okay. Your non-super chat scores. I really want to know what you guys think. Clearly good vibe in the chat. Clearly goodness. Let's have a look. Ooh. Stop doing that. Okay, so Tamranok, 9 out of 10. Orion Laden Productions, 9 out of 10. The Stanleys, 8 out of 10. Aussie, 9.7. He loved it. Cool. Eric, 9. Mark, down a bit, 8.25. Joseph, 8.7. Aussie's mum gives 9.8. Hey, cool. God, I'd love to see the debate between you and your mum, like that 0.1. Can one of you lower your score? Can you convince her to lower a score or raise a score? Like that 0.1. That's a generational difference between mother and son. That's just... yeah. Joseph. Nope. Where have we gone? Alan Parr, 9 out of 10. Fantastic start to the season. Believe him for score later episodes. Season opener. Where does it rank, do you think? Out of the 4.
I can't remember all of them, but it's definitely up.
I can't remember season 3, which, again, season 2 was the big Miranda recreation one that we all loved because it was just like,
yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What was
season 1. Very first episode of Lower Decks.
Man, season 3 was Zephyr Cochrane.
Yeah.
How is that not memorable?
They're killing it with each season opener. They're bringing back something cool, right?
Yeah, they're going big. Yeah.
What was the first season, though?
Well, that was, obviously, Welcome to the Ship, replicating bananas, going down to the planet, the bug-eating Boimler, and then turns out to be a nice, like, milk being. Yeah. And then Tendy does something, and I think it's... Oh, zombies, is the whole ship becomes eating zombies, and the guy's like, I ate a crew member. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. This will probably be a number 2 as far as openers go. I think the Miranda one will be number 1, the Zephyr Cochrane one will be number 3, and the first season will be number 4.
Cochrane should be best because of the bold swings, but knowing it ends the storyline in 1 really detracts from me.
Yeah.
It's such a quick release that you want that build up and that satisfying. But yeah, all 3 of them, hell, they are doing a cool thing. Anyway. Devereaux, 9 out of 10. Merlot, 8.4. Back to the 8s. Don Parent, okay. Mark Lawrence says Voyager cameo would have been a 9 easily. Well, how funny would it have been if in this Voyager episode they hired like an Enterprise cameo actor, like Jake Sisko, like not remotely related, just for the lols.
Yeah, Jake Sisko giving a tour.
Yeah,
I've read a lot about Voyager. I've written a lot about Voyager as well.
Or like a Brian taking.
Brian would have bumped it right up to 9.8 or something for me.
But just like completely subvert expectations.
Yeah.
I can imagine like Admiral Sulu walking on. Oh my, it's so silver. Just keep going, George. George is back. Or Chekhov. Oh, can you imagine? Oh, not they have the continuity, but imagine Chekhov's son, President Chekhov, Anton Chekhov, walking in. And it's like, huh. God, Mike and Terry, you really just anyway, crazy. Let's have a look. Who else? Raj says 9 out of 10. Jeremy Greaves 8.8. And there you go. So yeah, 9s and 8s, pretty consistent. No one's. Yeah, would anyone give it a 7? I don't think so. I hope not so.
They give it a 7 out of 9, but an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. And the first very short trek is also out. And publicly available.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. It's only 3 minutes, though. But it's a TOS one.
Well, send it my way. All right, so on the poll, we've got 46 votes. Is Season 4 shaping up to be the best season of Lower Decks? Yes, Season 4 is looking good. Wins with 87%. Season 2 comes in at 13%. And the other 2 seasons have 0%.
Wow.
So that is a wow for sure. We'll see how it ends at the end of the season. We'll be like, now we can actually judge it. So
yeah, no, I think it's. I mean, we've seen both, so we we do have a sense of the direction, and both are very strong.
Speaking of, tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my first reaction to episode 2, And our complete breakdown will be on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join us for that.
Yes. And in terms of actual edited reviews, we have... Where is it? We have... Tomorrow, we have the exterior first look. And then the interior first look is Sunday, followed by the detailed look, which is much more detailed, on like soon.
Yeah.
But that's really...
With one of the very short treks out, we'll probably review that on Tuesday. Would be my guess.
Yes? Yeah. Many things. Oh dear, what a shame.
Yeah. We're bathing in Star Trek content currently. So
right now, anyway, yeah.
All right, guys. I think we'll leave it there, but join us for the other lives, as I mentioned. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Check out our content. A whole weekend full of content. So
yeah. Until next time. This is Commander Cockings. He is Captain Foley. I am. Bye, guys.